What's good? What's good, brother? You all right?
I'm starting off the show with a nice beverage, a little bit of coconut water, a little healthy,
Hey,
healthy. Laked out today. Lakers going 3-1 today, baby. Get ready now.
here we go with that Lakers stuff. I know how you get down, man.
Yeah,
What's good with you, man?
man, I'm blessed, bro. Honestly, I'm just grateful for your presence. I'm grateful for everything that you do for the show because a lot of people don't know everything that you do for the show to make this possible. So I just want to give you your roses while you're alive, Mr. Light Skin Don't Care. Blessings. I like the blue shirt with the brick background. I see the ambiance, the feng shui. Tell me a little about tell the audience a little bit about yourself, boy.
Well, like I said, I go by the name of Quay Price. Like I said, enjoying the show, enjoying what we're able to do with the show. Let's say having those hard conversations about our community. Just kind of getting into my background a little bit. IT leadership by day, stock and forex trading by night, or wealth builder, as I like to refer to myself. So yeah, man, just trying to change the community's trajectory. Help us
Mm.
get to where we need to get to.
Say that one more time. You trying to do what, sir?
I'm trying to help change our community's trajectory, right?
Mm.
So we
That
got a
sounds
lot of
good.
situations of a loss of direction, loss of guidance, and I just try to inject myself in there to help change that change that trajectory and get us, I said, moving up in the right direction where we need to be. So yeah, man, that's why I'm here. So tell the people a little bit about yourself, man.
Well, my name is King Jacquel Martin. I'm a director, actor, author, motivational speaker. I'm just I'm just a servant, man. I'm a servant to y'all because without y'all there is no show. I'm a servant to the King. The Bible says, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." If you don't like your bank account, maybe you ain't served enough people. If you don't like what you're doing or the results in your life, maybe you need to be a better service because sharing your dream and sharing your talent is only you using that as a service. So, what type of service are you giving to the world? That's my question for you. So I'm just here, man. I'm here to kick it. I'm here to have a conversation. I can't wait. We got an amazing topic. Uh, that's about to get interesting.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So man, let me get some of these guests in the room. We got a lot of guests queued up over here, so I'm gonna start
Bring
bringing
in
them
the
in.
guests,
Let me
bring in
get
the
them in
guests, bring
here.
in the family. What's going on, family? Y'all come on up in here and join us.
All right, who was that? Peter right there?
Oh, the
Hey, how we
young
doing?
boy, light skin don't care. Pete, what up, baby? Young
Man, just
Uncle.
hanging out.
All right. Who else we got?
Appreciate you joining the show, man. We got a couple more, so hold on. Let me get everybody in here. Got another gentleman by the name of Tommy Armstrong. How you doing, Tommy?
Yeah. I'm straight, brother. How about yourself?
Doing well, doing well. Welcome to Look in the Mirror, the conversation, man. We're happy to have you too. And we got one more queued up in here.
Uh-oh. It's getting loud. It's getting lit.
All right, we got one more. Looks like Chloe Price.
It's me.
Hey,
I'm back.
What's
welcome back,
going
Miss
on?
Carly.
Y'all
What's
know I
going
had.
on with you? How you doing?
I'm good. You know I had to get on here. Y'all talk about the ladies. I got to get on here and represent for the ladies.
I hear that.
Hey, Quinn, you got a little bit of feedback, man?
Yeah, I'm hearing that. Let me see where it's coming from. Hold tight.
Everybody check their volumes just a little bit. Would that help you out, Quinn?
Let's see.
My mic.
Yeah, it might have been you, Peter.
Ten.
And if you're not talking, mute your mic, and when you're ready to mic, just come off mute. We'll do it like that, so that way we have mic courtesy.
Okay.
Testing. Am I clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. Let me mute everybody. I'm gonna bring you back one at a time. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, I think it's coming from Peter.
Check,
Okay.
check, check.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's coming from Peter.
Turned it down halfway.
No problem.
Oh, it's probably because I have it on this wooden table.
It sounds a little better now.
Yeah, I have
Peter,
it on my wooden
if you
table,
get
so it's probably bouncing off.
a wire hanger and move it by left to right, you might find.
Put some
Oh,
foil
Okay,
on the tip of it.
There we
yeah.
go.
let me shout out our guests. We got some comments coming in. So shout out to Kenyatta Myrick in the comments, and also Nicole Monique in the comments. How you doing, ladies? All right.
Ladies,
So let's
wait 1 second.
go
Ladies,
ahead.
you are more than welcome to join us on the panel. It is very important for representation, analysis, to have all of our beautiful Black queens up on the panel speaking your mind because it's a topic about you. And who are we as men not to have you up here on this panel as a representation of yourself and why you feel what is right? Because we need to be educated. We need to learn.
Facts. So yeah, ladies, I said, even if you don't want to show your face, you can put the link in your browser, and it will let you not show your face if you don't want to, and we can just hear your voice. So however you want to do it. But the link is in the live right there. So you should be able to see it. It's the StreamYard.com link if you want to join up on the panel.
Also, everybody mute their mic so that way we don't have the background noise. We can hear everybody's voices. And then when it's your turn, just unmute your mic, please. Thank you, panel. All right, Quay. What's the topic today, Quay? What we talking about?
So we got an interesting topic today, man. I know it's a little controversial.
Okay.
But I feel like it's a topic that we need to discuss because it is a brewing issue. And I think we need to touch it, right? So the topic of today is why are Black women single?
Somebody done spilled the tea.
Yeah, like, man. Why are Black women single, man? Like I said, once again, I know that the topic is controversial. But like I said, it's a needed conversation, right? Because like I said, we got some issues within the community. You know, we've touched on a couple of these things in the past. But like I said, we got to hash all this stuff out. Like I said, because this topic actually affects men and women, not just our sisters, but actually our men as well. And I want to kick this show off with a video.
We starting off with video? We all high class and technical and stuff?
Yeah, because I want to put some context to this.
Okay.
So I want to start this off with a video. Just hold on, let me check these comments real quick. Let's see. Hello, family. How you doing, Woodsy, Lynette, Nicole, great, and you? We're doing well.
Everybody's welcome to join the panel.
Can you all send the link?
Yes.
Hold on one sec, love.
I've lost the sound.
At the description, it says join our live discussion panel, and it has the link right up under it. So if you just copy and paste that or retype that, it will allow you to come in the panel. I apologize. You know, we got families that live around us, and the babies is out here screaming.
No, it's all good. Here, I'm gonna see if I can get that to her real quick. Give me 1 sec, then we're gonna get right back into this.
Okay. Also, if you go on my Facebook, carlosmartin.com, the link is right there. So if you go on my Facebook, it's the first thing posted.
I have no sound.
Click on the link and you can join. You have no sound, Mr. Armstrong?
I've lost the sound.
Mr. Armstrong said he lost sound. Does he need to disconnect to reconnect?
Yeah, I'm gonna push him out. Come back in, Tommy.
Come back in, Mr. Tommy. He's gonna put you out to have you come back in.
Yeah, I just pushed him out, so I'm gonna let him come back in.
Okay.
Let's see, Nicole, I just sent you that link. And how you doing, Erica Arrington? Thanks for checking in. All right, let me kick this off, Los.
Let's get it, man. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let me kick this video off. See if they can get this audio to come through well.
Now, mind y'all, while we were picking this topic, me and Kwesi went back and forth about it, just to let y'all know.
That we did. But let's say once again, man, this is a needed conversation. But let me kick this off.
All right.
Girls to like an extent, you feel me?
To an extent, what's the extent? The skin tone?
Yeah.
Okay, what kind of black girls?
Like either my complexion or lighter.
I'm blacker than you, so you want to talk to me?
No. Okay. Well, excuse
the profanity. It's a little profanity in the video.
Is a mean.
We grown.
What?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you even know me. I understand.
White girls did shit. White girls ain't as judgy. Yeah, like, bro, y'all judgy, ain't y'all mean. That's double negative, bro.
Alright, bro. I like Asian girls, really.
Yeah.
Why?
Because you gotta show the dark chocolate some love sometimes.
You like dark chocolate? He likes all the flavors of the ice cream.
You know how it goes.
Okay.
Which do y'all prefer, black or white female? White. I just like white female. Let's get up. White girls got that super head. Who you say more freaky? White girls. White girls? Okay. Black or white females? White females. Alright, why? Black or white females?
Black.
Alright, why though?
Because, like, number one, like,
they got big ass booties. I don't give a fuck. And like you just like buying more with them because you know you say it's right. Black or white female? White girl. Black girls, white today. I said white girl. Oh, you said white girls, white today. You know they let you do it. Yeah, you know they let you do what you want for sure, for sure. So you with a black girl right now, or you with a white girl? I'm with a black girl. With a black girl. All right. For black or white female. That's tough. That's tough. White female. I'm sorry, bro. All right, white shit white. I just like them, bro. That's just I like black girls. They like to give a nigga attitudes and shit. Do y'all prefer black or white females? White.
God damn, you're not gonna let me finish my motherfucking sentence.
All right, why you say white? I feel like they just do it better. They do it better. White girls got it. The white hoes. White.
Wow.
Talk, but the white girl, they hot it. You got them, they got it. Yeah. Who you think got more of an attitude though? Black.
All right.
Hey, Quay, do you got that TikTok channel that I sent you as well? The video from the TikTok channel?
I'm gonna have to pull it, man. Give me a minute. I have to pull it up.
All right.
Yeah, the reason why I wanted to start this show with that video is because we got a deep-rooted problem. So the fellas in that video, those are high schoolers. And the young lady is asking them, who do they prefer, white women or black women? And majority of the guys said white women. But if you listen to some of their reasons, it's some of the stupidest stuff I've ever heard. Some of the most ignorant stuff I've ever heard. There was one gentleman in particular who was sitting down when he gave his response. He's the one who made the comment about the big booty or whatever he said. But after that, he made a statement of he's with a black girl because they bond better. So that was the one little bit of sense that I heard out of all of them dudes that was on that video. So the reason I wanted to start with that video is because we got a deep-rooted issue.
Yes.
Right? Like those are high schoolers, like I said, so they not even, they life just barely getting started. So they ain't got to no college, they not to adult life. Like, you know, they still wet behind the ears.
Mm-hmm.
But to hear them talking that way at that age, that's concerning to me. So yeah, just seeing that video, give me your feedback. What were you thinking? What were you thinking about seeing that video? Anybody?
I think we should start with the ladies first, personally, because you know, from their perspective.
Who want to start?
That make you ladies feel?
I'm gonna let you have it, sis.
Okay, first you told me the age of the high school kids, so understandably, high school kids, you're stupid. I'm just gonna say it. When you're that young, a lot of times you're dumb. So sometimes you gotta take some things for a grain of salt because you say things because you're trying to be part of the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, it's disgusting. And you know, a lot of times these kids have not experienced life to really see life is bigger than just what their community is, their block is, whatever they're from is. I wonder, are most of those black kids in areas where they're predominantly white? I'm just wondering that.
Valid point.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's disgusting. I will say that, but that's all I'm gonna say for now.
How did it make you feel as a black woman seeing that?
You know what? As a black woman seeing that, it's not just high school kids. You see it through men who are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and you see that a lot. You hear it a lot, you know. So for me, it's like if I come across a man who believes that BS, I'm automatically like, nah, I'm good, bro. Have a good day, sir. And that's just me. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm 40 plus, so that's just me. But yeah, it's disgusting because these little boys, you came from black woman. You came from a black woman, but you think black women are you talk about them in such disgusting ways. It's disgusting. That's the only word I can think of right now.
Thank you for sharing.
It is disgusting, but even more than that, it's sad too. Like it's so unfortunate because just like Wissy is saying, is that our future? So this is okay. Sticking to the topic, why are black women single? I mean, if that's what the pool of young ladies that are coming through right now, if that's what they're going to have to choose from, then that's one indicator. Obviously, it's not the only thing, But that's
Mhm.
one of the reasons why
Mm.
women are going to be, they're going to be, I mean, I would pick that either. Like, I
I
don't
choose
want
the
to be
same.
with that either. You know, like, I mean, let's just be honest. You know, they're so young, they're so young, and already they're eating up this narrative that the black woman is angry and the black woman is upset and she has an
Mm.
attitude. And I just
Mhm.
want to say, I mean, they didn't even look, some of them didn't even look like they were old enough to drive. Like, how do you know how many attitudes black women have? Like,
Right.
it's just funny to me. It's funny, I laugh because it's funny, but in a tragic kind of way.
Right. Right.
Like,
Totally agree.
like,
Right.
already, you already pushing a narrative. You already you're
Mhm.
just eating it up that black women are
Right.
this and black men are women are that. And if you have that negative, thought, or if that's already the perspective you have on women within your own culture, then yeah, you're just going to take those things, and it's going to, it's just going to evolve as you get older. So
Mhm.
maybe you won't be saying the same types of things, but you'll still have that same, viewpoint.
Mentality.
Yeah,
Mhm.
mentality. And
I
that's
have another
sad.
question for you two ladies, because both you two ladies are light skinned, right? They brought up a
I
difference with colorism.
I don't
I'm just
consider
sticking with
myself
women,
light. I
but
don't consider myself light, but okay. Go ahead.
no problem.
I don't think
But
I'm
they
like
brought up
that.
the issue, ladies, of colorism, of
Mhm.
chocolate, because one of the young gentlemen was like, "Well, I like girls that's the same color as me or lighter." Do you
Mhm.
guys see the issue with between the division with black women of chocolate women and of lighter complexion?
I mean, I don't. I never consider myself light skinned, but I will tell you this. That's because growing up in Michigan, I know for me, my consideration of like a lighter skinned person is somebody who's more biracial looking. When I went to school down south, they told me I was light. I'm like, no, I'm black. Anywhere it goes, the police pull me over, I'm still black. So for me, I've seen the difference. I've seen men say that before. They call you, hey, red, which I personally like. I'm black, whatever. I'm karma, whatever. So for me, I I've seen it. I've heard it. I've heard men say that I like women who are lighter skinned. And the way I feel a way about that too, for me. Just for
Because
me.
colorism is a real issue.
Say that again.
Colorism is a real issue.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And because one of the young gentlemen had brought that up about where his skin tone was and he likes everything above that, what does that do for the young chocolate girls that grow up into the world that want, when people look at social media or people told or brainwashed what beauty is, how do they have to feel about themselves? Because that's another battle that they have to deal with
Mm.
as well, that I would like to address when we're talking about this topic too.
And look,
So I just want to know.
let me get a couple comments real quick. So we got a comment from Kenyatta Myrix. She says, I have teenage and preteen boys. My oldest only dated black girls. He attends school in the inner city, and my other sons attend school in a predominantly white suburb. That may be a factor as well. Yeah, I can definitely see that, Kenyatta. We got another comment from Jamila Price. She says, my initial thoughts of the video was that has been their example of a woman or even a relationship that made them respond that way. That's okay. That's deep right there. Um, we're gonna have to touch on that. And then also got another comment from Kenyatta. She says, who raised these gentlemen? We don't know if they were raised by angry black women or a grandmother. We just don't know.
It's true.
Hmm.
True.
So,
Mr. Tom-
let me post that question to the fellas. So fellas, so I see there's three of us on here right now. Um, how do we get to this point? So let me give you the background on
Can we
me,
start
right?
with
And
Mr.
how
Tommy? Since
say it
Mr.
again?
Tommy I said, can we start with Mr. Tommy because he has more years on us with wisdom and he's seen this thing progress a
No
longer
doubt.
time
Go ahead.
than us?
Go ahead. No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, me personally, it's a cultural thing. Also, I'll say it's access, easy access. Today's generation, they haven't been exposed to actually the ins and outs of work in a relationship. When it comes, I was raised to where the work was put in, in an African American relationship. And now, when you get access to other cultures, other races, and it becomes easy, that's the only way I know to put it, you know. And you don't have to work as hard to please, you know, your queen or the queen that raised you. You see outside things happening. You get easy access, the cars, the money. A lot of things plays a role in it. And I can tell you from personal experience, I've been on both sides of the fence. I was married to an African American. I was married to a Caucasian. And look at what I just said, was married. So it's the culture, it's sickening. You know, I'm all about the black queen, you know, brown, no matter what the color may be, you know, black is black to me. But the newer generation, and like we talked earlier, Jaquil, it's it's the culture, bro. It's the new norm. It's the faddish things that they're exposed to, and they want easy. You know, you got them out there now. They don't have to work hard for nothing. They, you know, because of what they're exposed to, and that's just fact. It's facts, and that's my opinion, and it's from experience also.
Okay, so you speaking on influence then. So essentially you're saying these guys are being influenced by these outside entities, and this is what has them thinking this way.
Exactly, exactly. You're tracking exactly where I'm going with this. It's influence. It's almost like the kid growing up back in the day, seeing the big time drug dealers, the flashy money, and so on and so forth. He wants a part of that. You know, and these kids, they get exposed to certain neighborhoods. They're spoiled. Other race kids with the cars and so on and so forth, and they go for that.
Hmm.
I can understand that. Peter, you want to get a piece of this, man?
Yeah. On personal experience, I'd like to say that like I've dated pretty much all races or whatever. Um, but I think it depends on like a little bit of where you grew up or whatever, and like what you've been watching on TV and stuff like that. Because like subliminally, like you'll just start carrying stuff out. Like you won't even know that you're doing it. You're just like trying to like fit in with the new fad and stuff like that. So like with me, with my like let's say I dated like 10 black women, and I dated five like in the Midwest or whatever, and I dated five in the city. I personally think that kind of in the city, like like all my relationships, like they end with like her yelling at me or something like that, and it's usually over something small. Whereas like in the Midwest or something like that, um, I feel like it's a little bit low key or whatever, and then I feel like I can still kind of call those people, if that makes any sense. Like we're
I get
still
that.
friends or whatever. Like we can't really date or whatever, but we're still friends. But like here in LA, like all the black women I've dated, it's like they kind of put that on like they are angry. You know what I'm saying? Like like it could just be something small, like don't put your glass over there, blah 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 blah, and then it just spirals out into like a big argument. And I've only gotten out like two words. Like I haven't even been able to say like I'm sorry yet.
I can understand that. You
Quay,
want to
what
say
you
something, Lou?
go ahead, Quay. I'll wait.
No, you know what? Like I said, I think we have an issue with. I can only put this one way. Um, we got a lot of weak cats now, and I'm gonna start.
I totally agree.
Wow.
Let me
Yeah.
just call it what it is. I'm gonna start with
Preach.
these. Yeah, I'm gonna
Say it.
start with these little young fellas, cause like I
That's
said,
why I
you
said
know a
go first,
lot,
Quay.
man. I say that again.
I said that's why I told you to go first. I already knew where you're going.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, man, we got a lot of weak cats, man. And at the end of the day, you know what my focus is. My focus is always on the men and the men leading and the men setting the tone and the direction. And when I watch that video, that's what that video tells me, that men are not setting the tone and not leading these young men. And that's what you see in that video, because there's no way that I should be hearing that from those young fellas at that age in high school. Like, you have no idea what you're talking about. And that's why I say, when I pointed out the one dude who made the point about bonding with the black woman, see, somebody done sort of told him something, right? He's the only one that made a positive comment about the sisters. So somebody done showed him something. He's had exposure to something, or by somebody who knew something. But the rest of the dudes, man, it's just a disgrace, man. It's sad, because at the end of the day, like Woodsy, Lynette said earlier, this is the future, right? So these end up being the guys that our women are choosing from when they're ready to, have children and build and have a family and do that whole thing. This is the beginning of those guys that we just saw in that video.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm gonna stop right there for now, man.
I can go.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I'm not blaming the young men in the video. I'm blaming us, because we are the ones who are supposed to show these young men the way, and we ain't do our part. And that's why they are a product of us not doing our part as men. Because there's no way that you can sit there and come from a black woman and then talk about black women like that, not knowing that you're not talking about your mother, your sister, your grandmother, your auntie. That's exactly who you're talking about, because they are black women. So how can you speak about that and not know that and say, Mama, I love you. Sis, I love you. It don't go together. Now, you can love whoever you want to love, right? I hate when a black man gets with another race and then has to come back and bash black women. Obviously, bro, you hurt. Obviously, you ain't dealt with that pain. Obviously, you didn't get the counseling you need, because if you were so in love with what you were in love with, you wouldn't have time to be bashing anyone else. You would just be focused on your love. Right. You see what I'm saying? Because if I'm all for my girl, if I'm all for Ashley, I don't have time to be worried about everything else or trying to be disrespectful to anyone else, when all my love and focus should be here. You see what I'm saying? Now, I want to rewind it and go a little deeper with the T. Slavery. Slavery, slavery, slavery. And the reason why I say slavery is because if I'm a white man and I came up with Jim Crow and I came up with the black laws and I came with systemic oppression and racism to destroy the black family, that video was proof that we were successful. It worked, you guys. We don't even have to go out there to destroy them like we used to, because now they're going to destroy themselves. They're so messed up, psychology is so messed up that they're hating themselves. They hate themselves. They talk about their black women. So there will never be unity in the black culture to rise against what the rules we have set for them. Divide and conquer. We have already won. Have you guys seen the thing Social Dilemma? Oh my God. If you haven't seen Social Dilemma, watch it. We're going to do a show on Social Dilemma. We have to. The Social Dilemma. We got to watch that, right? But the reason why I'm saying that is because this progressed over time. Because we go from being slaves and not having and looking at everyone have access to things to finally being put in situations where we can have access. Shout out to Peter, where we just want to fit in, and they made us, shout out to Kanye West, hate ourselves and love their wealth. So now we see all these people who have all these nice things, and it seems like life is easier and seems like life is better. But guess what? You know why a black woman has the right to be angry? Because she's the most hated woman on earth. She's the most culturally appropriated woman on earth. She's been beaten. She's been raped. She had to feed other people's children. She had her children stripped from her. What if you had to go through all these things? When a black man gets shot, they're the first ones to protect us. They're always showing up. They're always on time. They're not covered. They're not protected. We don't look out for them the way we're supposed to be looking out for them. We don't leave. We leave them hanging. We have children. We go off on our own. Don't come back to take care of our kids. Black women got to take care of kids on their own. They don't have the right to be angry. They don't have the right to feel some type of way.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line is, bro, we soft. We are soft in so many different ways. We are so confused. We have lost our way. And guess what? I am so guilty. I'm guilty. That's why I can say it. I've been married. I've been divorced. I've been through it. Period. So I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm perfect or my shit don't stink. But I'm saying what? When you know better, you do better. And now that I know better, I got to do better. 1,000%. And it's not a woman's job to hold another man accountable. It's our job to hold our brothers accountable. So why is it that people can sing in their rap songs and their lyrics and talk about she's going to leave your ass for a white? Really? Becky? Really? That's what we put in our music? Really? Because we have our artists that sit up there and disrespect black women in their music, and then our children think about it, and then we wonder why our children choose white girls or light-skinned girls or exotic or this over where they come from. It's just factual. They've been manipulated. They've been conditioned. It's been on repeat. They listen to it all day long, and then they see it in front of them, and then it's on their social media, then it's on their Facebook, and over again. And these kids are like barely 16, and they regurgitate bullshit. There's a TikTok challenge where it says run, and above it, it has a white girl and a black girl.
Yep.
And you see all these black men running
for the white girl.
People. Ain't that crazy? The same ones that used to beat you, the same ones that used to hang you, the same stuff that we come from, the same stuff with Breonna Taylor and all these other people that lost their life. This is what we run into. And I'm not saying anything about racism because there are some amazing white people out there. So let's not try to take my words to manipulate it. There are some amazing things out there, but you can love whatever you want to love without bashing someone else. And that's my point. Why do you have to go back and bash black women? Has anyone ever thought about that? Why out of all the women in the world, the black woman gets treated the way she gets treated? Why? When you come from that, it's already been scientifically proven. Everyone comes from a black woman. Go ahead, Quakers. I'll go, man. Leave me alone, man. Go ahead.
Actually,
Go ahead. Is that Chloe? You want to say something, Chloe?
yeah, I actually have a point to that. Like, first of all, I agree with everything you said. It's definitely this is a learned behavior. Like you said, from the music to the images, the movies, the TV, it's definitely a learned behavior. We definitely are experiencing social conditioning. Like, that is a real thing. And just like you mentioned slavery, I'm glad you brought that up, because we can't keep acting like we don't still carry the scars from those experiences. We still carry the scars from those experiences. It doesn't matter if we ourselves weren't slaves. That doesn't matter, because these scars, these bruises, we still carry over from generation to generation. We get taught these things without even realizing it. It's a part of the conditioning, and they know that's going to happen. That's why they set it up the way that they did. They knew that these things would be passed on from generation to generation. That was the whole point. And now we see the manifestation of their work, right? All their work they put in, we're seeing the manifestation of that right now, more than ever in this generation that's being raised, that's raising up right now. But setting slavery aside, there's on the side of women in general. I have to say this because I don't believe in this, but just like you said, slavery, feminism. Black women do not understand how divisive and how destructive the feminist movement was to our culture. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm going to get on my soapbox, so I'm just going to apologize to you guys in advance.
Go for it.
I have a problem with feminism. Okay, I have a problem with feminism in the Black female community. Okay, It's one thing to say, I want to have something of my own. I want to have some independence. I want a career. I want to do something for myself. I don't want everything to be about a man. And that's one thing. To me, that's not feminism though. They have
Right.
tricked and manipulated us Black women to believe that those things, which are just normal human things and wants and desires, they put them in the feminism bucket. But what they've had you do now is, for Black women, they want you to go to the extreme with it. They want you to go to the point where now you loathe, and there's a layer of hate for the Black man, because it's almost like they've set him up as your block. The Black man is the reason why you can't get ahead. The Black man is your enemy. It's the Black man. He don't want to work. You got to work and take care of him. And all of these things. Now, I'm not saying that this stuff never happens, okay? There are men out there, the weak ones that Carlos and Kawasi and Mrs. Tommy and Peter is talking about. They're out there, okay? But that's not every man. And what they've done is they've tricked you, Black girl, into putting your power, your voice, and your numbers behind a movement that does not serve you. Feminism has never been about advancing the Black woman and your agenda. They don't care anything about your agenda. They don't care anything about what matters to you and what matters to your family structure. Exactly. Deconstructing the Black family systemically. That's exactly what they did. That's what the feminism movement did, because it said it took the men out the homes.
Yeah.
Black women, we want to earn more money. We want to be more successful. We want to have our own. And those things in and of itself, nothing wrong with them. Okay, but let me tell you what your white sisters and counterparts were doing while you were, I don't need you. I can do bad all by myself. While you were doing that, they were going home to their husbands. They were cooking dinner for their family. Okay? While you were saying, you can't do nothing for me. I can do everything for myself. I can do better all by myself. What I want kids for, I want a career. See, while you were doing that, they were coming back to you saying, yes, girl power. And then they were going home, and when their husband was saying, I want my dinner on the table by 6:30, guess where that dinner was and when?
6:25.
See, you were getting tricked, Black woman. You were getting tricked. And
Yeah.
You know what's so
now,
funny?
And you was going home to nobody.
I'm about to say, you know what's so funny about the trick, Chloe? And here's the proof of it. You got Black people running around talking about some Wakanda forever. How? How?
I like
I'm just saying those things. How we got Wakanda forever and we ain't got each other's back forever?
Right.
This
How
is and that's the thing. We're not.
Forever, and we're gonna sit here and shit on Black women like this.
These are these feelings that we have for each other now. It's almost like we hate each other, and that's so unfortunate, because this is not who we were. This is not who we were. There is no way that we would have made it through our experience. Our ancestors would have made it through their experience if we would not have stayed together and stuck together the way that we did. Okay? That is why we made it through. This narrative of Black man against Black woman, you can't do nothing for me. I might as well go ahead and get me, somebody. The reason why they did that is because they knew that in order to break down the Black men, they had to get to the women. They knew if they could get to the Black woman, they could tear down the Black man. I hate to say this, I'm gonna go biblical on y'all, because that's what I do. That's the reason why Satan went to Eve first. That's exactly why. That's exactly why. The devil always gonna go to the woman first, because I hate to say this, ladies, but they're gonna go to the weaker sex.
Thank you for being so good
and
right now.
Understand, when I say weaker, doesn't mean I'm taking anything away from the strength of a Black woman. I'm simply saying genetically, our makeup, they're always
Mm-hmm.
going to go to the weaker sex first. But then they also know the power that we wield and the influence that we wield over our men. So they're going
Mm-hmm.
to go through us and they're going to use us, and they have used us to help tear down the family unit. That's why you can't get no wick unless you kick that man up out that house.
Yep.
Facts.
Well, the
So let me
doors
And
of the church
also
are
during the
open.
beginning of feminism, I believe that the white woman, like, they didn't even want them marching next to him,
Mm-mm,
but they
they
did
didn't.
because, like, just because, like, like strength in numbers or whatever, and more votes.
To talk about what you're talking about, Peter, this is when all the men had went to war and women had to go out now and leave the homes and start taking on jobs and
Yeah.
everything else. And when the men came back from war, they tried to force women back into the kitchen, and women were saying, no,
Hmm.
we want to have
so,
careers. We want to be able to do these things just as well.
so let me grab this comment. And I think Nina, I want you to help me with this one. So we got a comment from Nicole Monique. She says, "But what do you do if you learn this behavior from your father not being there?"
Ooh,
Mm.
child. Mm, damn.
So ladies, help
Wow.
somebody help me with this one, girl. I said, because this is, like I said, this is one of the reasons why
Mm-hmm,
I felt like it was imperative that we did this show, right? Because
mm-hmm,
this is somebody, being hurt by what they experienced, right? I said,
mm-hmm,
this is no personal shot at Nicole at all. I said, she good people, but this is
A great question. A fair
this is
question.
the life.
That's
This
a
is the
fair
life of a
question.
lot of people, right?
Mm-hmm,
So
Yeah.
they've been affected by
mm-hmm,
their father not being there. And we're discussing some of the reasons why fathers weren't there,
mm-hmm,
or I said, I'm not making excuses. It's just reality.
mm-hmm.
But just give me your input. So what?
I,
How do you respond? How do you respond to Nicole?
I think a couple things need to happen. I mean, there are a lot of men who are not stepping up to the plate, period, truth be told.
Fact.
Um, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, and I could tell you stories upon stories. I'm not gonna go there today, but I've seen it, and I've seen the growth of some of the kids from when they're young to they're now teenagers to see how that really affects them. And I think some men really don't get it. So I think to answer that question, I really don't know. I mean, you can always say expose the, kids to other men who are stand up men. Show them that there are good black men out there. Show them that there are men doing better than their fathers did. But then that may again cause another issue on top of that. So, I mean, that's one of those things like Jesus. I really don't know. I would say exposing kids to showing, yeah, your dad may not have been the best dude, but you got uncles, you got other men in your life who could step up. Um,
That's fact.
but but I know for me, one thing I've always said, I'm about to go. I always, in truth, say I go to education because education is very important. And I would say this is that, especially for those high school kids, I'm gonna go back to high school kids real quick. They need to be surrounded by black people who are not just their type of black person. And I think sometimes when you are focused on or being around, surrounded by everybody who has the same thought process, everybody
Mm.
who has the same economic background as you, everybody who came from the same location as you would not be open minded to see other things that black people. That our community is so different and so diverse.
Mm.
So but
I
I
think
would
I think
say exposure basically.
I think what you're saying at the same time, and I don't want to misquote you or whatever else, but I think it's an
Hmm.
old quote where it says it takes a neighborhood to raise a child or a village to raise a child. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? If you don't have that example there, try to use other examples to showcase to put it there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And at the
Right.
same time, on our part as men, we have to step up, man. Period.
Yeah,
We have to
you
step up.
got to, if you don't
We got to hold each
mind,
other
you
accountable.
have to step up. But just remember this also. Now, I'm gonna say 90% of all, you become a product of your environment.
Facts.
Right,
I'll say it again. You become a product of your environment.
right.
And those that step out, just like you said, we as black men, we do have to step up. And those that are stepping outside of that bad environment, we have to try to reach and grab and say, hey, look, you don't have to become by showing or telling or whatever by example. You don't have to become a product of the bad environment that you are coming out of or that you're in. But like I
Right.
said, 90% of all of everything that's going on in the world today comes from being a product of your environment.
Now, you
Uh,
said product, right? And I want people to
Yes,
understand that part,
yes,
product, because that's very important to know that people use you as a product. One,
exactly. That's why.
environment. Two, redlining. They created these hostile environments for you to grow up in purposely. That's what redlining was about. That's where
Mhm.
ghettos
Exactly.
came from. That's where hood came from. That's where crack cocaine era and these different type of things came from. Liquor stores and everything. It was all by a design to put you in this type of environment to create the results that we have today, where it becomes survival of the fittest. Because if you're in an environment where you have to wake up to try to survive every single day, right? Let's just say a happy couple, they're a black couple, but they're struggling to make money. They're oppressed. They're struggling to pay bills. So they go out into the day and they deal with colorism, they deal with racism, they deal with a systemic oppression, and then they come home, which is supposed to be the place of peace. But yet you still have no place to let this energy go. So it winds up going against each other, which also helps breaks up homes. So that's what I mean by it systemically happens, or it's a system, it's a psychological system that they have tested that is proof that works. We
Right.
are the product in their system that they've created or whatever else, and it's almost like we're lab rats to a certain extent, based off of the environment they created to see the strongest,
Exactly.
which will be the strongest to survive.
Facts. Yeah, I mean, but you think back, that was the whole concept behind the project. You
Mhm.
Right.
know what I'm saying? So we called it, living conditions, but I mean, they were projects. There's essentially experiments. Let me just welcome on Nicole Middleton to the show. I see she's on the panel. So
Yes,
I just want to
finally.
welcome you, Nicole.
Oops.
How you doing?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Did you wanna get something out real quick, or you just listening?
Um, I mean, I can comment a little bit. So let me know if you guys can hear me
Please.
clearly because I'm actually outside enjoying the air. But
No, we
We
can
so
hear
a
can.
you.
little
We
bit
can hear you good.
about like okay, cool. So a little bit about my background, kind of the reason for the question. Um, so I've grown up in Highland Park, Michigan. I don't know who is from where, but it's kind of like a place. It's not
We
as
we we
as
know we know
affordable as it used
HP.
to
We
be.
know HP.
Okay. okay. Um, terrible. So grew up there. Um, went to elementary and middle school in Detroit. That was nice. Went to high school out in Southfield. So for me, my time out in Southfield was like my first real like exposure to different cultures, exposure to different options, just exposure to something different. Um, and then from there, I moved back home and then went to Wayne State. Graduated from there, interned, did what I had to do. I'm kind of working in my field, but throughout all of that, kind of seeing that culture experience, it for me made me question like, okay, well, I'm not used to all this. I'm not used to these different family dynamics that I'm hearing, especially in terms of now dating like people that are also educated. I'm like, okay, I'm hearing and understanding that, when people are actually dating, they're thinking about, what your family dynamic is like, what is your social economic background. And some of those things and questions I didn't know how to answer or was ashamed to answer. So some of the experience, I'm like, okay, well, in terms of dating, I don't know what I'm doing. Um, so I say
Mm.
all of that to say, throughout my growing up process and me not really having my father in the home and kind of doing something completely education wise than him and all of my family members, I'm like, well, how do you get out of that mindset of I want better, but because I've come from these circumstances, I feel like that's always going to be against me, or I feel like there's always something I don't know.
Hmm. You know what? I don't. So okay. So I don't know. all the inner details of that scenario, but what I will say is based off what you just said, the main step is to want better. So essentially, if you've identified that you want better, then it's at least from my perspective, it's on us to figure out what it takes to get that better, based regardless of what you came from. The second thing I would say, listen, this is just from my perspective. The second thing I would say is you got to surround yourself by like-minded people. That will help you get to that better as well. Listen, I'm just speaking from personal experience. I guess anybody else want to touch on that?
I will say that with any sport, with any field, with any career, there's always mentors or coaching. And so for me, what has helped me is I have always seeked out someone like a Mr. Tommy, someone who's been playing this game of life longer than I have, someone who has ran into different scenarios that I haven't never experienced. And sometimes in life, you don't have to experience everything. You can take good advice that will allow you to avoid some of the affliction that you go through. So I think counseling, I think having mentors, I think picking up a book, I think opening yourself up to new environments, new scenarios, new situations, new people. I'm a firm believer in laws of attraction. So sometimes I believe we attract certain things. And I think that I'm a believer in change. I believe every day that we wake up is an opportunity to change our future. What are you going to do that? Or are we just going to sit in the boiling frog syndrome? So for me, I try to challenge myself not to be the smartest person in the room, to involve myself with other people who can be a blessing to me as well as I'm being a blessing to them. Anybody else on the panel? Oh, we have another guest.
I mean, I just wanted to kind of speak to the fact that first of all, the fact that you have enough self
Mm-hmm.
awareness to be able to look at yourself and say, yeah, this is an area of opportunity for me, and I can tell it stems from the fact that I had this absence in my life, so I didn't have this influence. Like the fact that you see that to me already says that you want something different for yourself. So I feel like that's half the battle. A lot of people are in denial. So the
Mm-hmm.
fact that you're not,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think really it is about, okay, now you have identified what one of the issues, what it is,
Right.
and now you can, take the necessary steps to try to, kind of repair that and move forward. I think, you already heard from all the other panelists. I probably would say the same. Try to put yourself in a situation around people who can be a good influence to you, can, set a good example. Sometimes when we around people who think the same way we think, or, feel the same way we feel, we end up stuck. We can't, we want better, but we don't know how to get there. We don't know, you know, you know, why. I think that's the main reason why, I feel like conversations like this are good, and having different perspectives is a good thing. Like the topic is, why are Black women single? I'm not, single. I'm someone who is married, but I feel like if I was single, I don't want to be around only single people. How they gonna tell me how to get married? How they gonna tell me how to be married? How they gonna help me understand
Mm-hmm.
how to be a good wife?
Yep.
They're single too. I want to
Yep.
be around somebody who, if I'm single, I want to be around somebody who is in a serious relationship, headed for marriage, is married. I need I need that energy around me, because that's what I want. And so I think that's the biggest takeaway, and hopefully that's helpful for you. But yeah, I mean, I think the fact that you've already identified that is huge. And thanks for sharing that, because there's probably other people who feel exactly the same way.
All right.
I went to a program called Landmark. It was really dope, and I think in our culture sometimes we're afraid of counseling. or we're afraid of different programs or different experiences, learning experiences.
Come on, Lowe's. You can't be telling our business, man. What's wrong with you?
I'm just saying, and like Chloe said, it's beautiful that you are able to identify something that was in your blind spot. And a lot of times we have blind spots based on things that happened to us in our childhood that we have never forgiven, let go of, to be able to move forward. So sometimes, well, not sometimes, a lot of times we carry these invisible chains based off of our experiences from us as youth. And we carry that into our adulthood, not knowing that we're carrying this dead weight from something that happened to us long ago. And we're walking around with all these chains bound to us, you know what I mean? But they're invisible. And sometimes it takes a discovery like you had in this moment to be able to ask the question that you just asked, so that way it can no longer be in your blind spot, so you can figure out, hey, where was this seed planted? Okay, I didn't know this was growing in my garden of life. Now I need to go back to dig the weeds out, so that way I can, be free of that. We got to be able to break these bonds. And one thing that we all believe in, or I'll just say for me, prayer. Getting on those knees, meditation, prayer.
Facts.
Yeah.
So man, let me just say once again, Nicole, we appreciate that question.
Yes.
Let's say we appreciate being able to, give some input on that. Hopefully, it brings you some type of assistance, closure, however you want to call it. But no, we appreciate that question and you sharing that with us. So let me say this. I'm ready to get grimy.
Oh.
Grimy. Hey.
I'm ready
Bring
to
it.
I'm ready
Bring
to
it.
get this.
Before you say that, can we go back to the topic about I really feel that like both sexes pretty much can do better. I feel like both of them
Facts.
need to grow,
Oh,
because I feel like women on social media or whatever, whenever they start getting like hundreds and thousands of followers or whatever, then they might get like a really big head or whatever. And then I hate to use numbers, but like if she's like a 6 and then like an 8 or 9's talking to her, then she's gonna think after a while that she's
I'm a
like an
9.
8 or a 9. And then and then she's gonna get that really really big head or whatever, saying like I always deserve this. But
But I think any woman deserves what she wants. I'm sorry. So you said I'm just okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's different how a man goes through the world versus how a woman goes through the world. I feel like one of the main reasons why there's so many single women or whatever is, one, because of feminism. Feminism told you like you don't need a man, you don't need any of that, and then here you are going to school or whatever, and then you're having fun at school or whatever, and then before you know it, you're like 32, 35, and that's where women are saying like, where have all the good men gone? Well, the good men were like next to you in college or whatever. The good men were coming to your job, like whenever your car broke down, they're helping you fix your car. Like
I ain't
that's
want that.
where
I
the
wanted
good
the
men.
plug, B.
Huh?
I wanted me a hood
So
Banger.
look.
But also how we go through the world or whatever, like with men and women, like men are looked for to what they can provide. A woman is basically looked like sexual market value.
Oh,
What?
that's right. That's right because
That's true.
That's
Yeah.
right, because see, you gotta have
Ooh.
a car, you gotta be tall, you gotta be dark, you gotta be
Yep.
handsome,
Gotta
you
have a
gotta be
degree.
rich,
Hey, Quay,
Yep.
they done went to the
and
list,
I don't
Quay.
mean to be
They done went to the
lewd.
list.
Listen,
Yep.
and I don't mean to be lewd, but you gotta be
Mm-hmm.
packing,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
you gotta be
See?
smart, and you got hold on, let me see. You can't have no baby mamas, and you let me see what else you gotta have.
Good shoes. Good
Yeah,
shoes.
okay. That's why you gotta have good shoes. Your nails got to be clean. You got to smell good.
Yep. And a nice lineup. And a
Yep.
nice smile with a dimple.
Yep.
You know,
That's right.
how
And
women do. You
and
know.
Don't
some
forget the
freckles.
good
I
credit.
mean, that's
Hey,
Gotta have
but
some
actually,
good
that's
credit.
important.
750 credit score or higher.
Yes.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
gotta
See
have
what
all of
I'm saying?
that. All of that.
The ladies
All
co-signing
of
on
that.
yeah.
this. Look at
Right.
ladies
All of that.
A
co-signing on
But
this.
woman,
You see what I'm
yeah,
saying?
If
all
a
I gotta
woman that's a
have,
9 or 10, all she has to do is show up.
that's it. That's it.
A woman
right.
Cause
that's a
I'm
9 or
me.
10, all
Wait,
she
wait,
has to
wait,
do
wait,
is
wait.
show
I'm
up
gonna say this. There's
for the
nothing
most part.
wrong with having standards
Standards.
That's
Yeah.
at
it.
all. There's nothing wrong with having
Because
standards.
true,
No,
But
no, 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 no.
but
sometimes, hold on now. This is
but
where we're gonna change it up. Don't be
Jesus.
talking about standards and you don't want to meet the same standard. Don't be asking for all the money, but you don't want to do none of
Wait
that.
a minute.
Don't be saying I
But
want
this is
steak
the
and
thing.
yet you over there
This
eating eggs and grits.
yes. But this is the thing. Even if you have standards, like I could tell you, one of my things, my ex, the guy I dated in my 20s for most of my 20s, he had everything on paper, dual degree, cars, lived in West Bloomfield, did everything right, but
Go.
we weren't a good match. So I
Mm.
think a lot of times is that we, especially when, like, I got my degree and I'm like, I'm doing my thing, yay. And at 21,
Anyway,
22, was like, yeah, I'm doing it. And I met him like, okay, yep. And then it didn't work out. And I think a lot of times we put so much emphasis what's on paper and not on the outside other things that goes into that. And I think a lot of times we have to get outside of that as Black women. And I will say that was my issue back in the day. And I will admit to that. I have standards. Yes, I do. Still
keep
do.
admitting it, because sometimes
I
y'all
still
just
have
being
them.
a hood nigga.
I want a hood. But you know what, truth be told, I find intelligence very attractive. And some of the smartest men I know are them hood dudes. Seriously, straight up.
Yeah,
See,
they
look, that
smart.
was her
They
way.
smart.
Wait, audience. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. That was her way of kind of coming out the closet about the hood nigga. Like, I do
Look. I'm
I'm gonna
not.
just
I'm
say
not gonna.
I want him to be intellectual, but because I ain't gonna lie,
I,
you know what I'm saying? We
I
all
don't
done
mess
been in
with that
school
stuff.
and been like, damn, how he pull her, bruh? But
Yeah,
sometimes charisma go a long way.
yeah.
Sometimes swag go a long way. Sometimes
Mhm.
game having, what I'm saying, being able to talk that talk go a long way.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
Damn.
that.
Mhm.
Man, how did he get her?
Mhm.
That, niggas
Seen
be
that,
hating.
heard that a lot.
I got dimples. That's how I got it. I got dimples.
You know
Yeah,
what?
I mean,
yeah.
we're joking, but I know we're joking around,
But
but
it's real.
It's
but
true.
real,
It's
like it's
real.
true.
It's the
Like
No.
truth.
as women, sometimes, just like Nia said, like as women, sometimes we can come with this laundry list of things that we're looking for, and they know wrong with having standards. Not saying
Mhm.
that, but
Yeah.
sometimes can is there a point where we're focusing so much on you having everything on that list, and at the same time we're coming to the table and we don't necessarily feel like we have to have, you know what I'm saying, we're not even considering if a man might have a list for us, and we're thinking that just what we're bringing is enough.
Hallelujah.
And I'm not
Uh-huh.
speaking for the women on this panel. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not speaking about any of the women on this panel. I'm speaking about the the WAP generation, and
You know.
and that generation. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm speaking for them. Like
Right.
Cardi
they
B.
Right.
literally think as long as they got some WAP, then they don't need to have
Right.
nothing else. They
Right.
don't need to
And you
have a thing
Well,
else.
sometimes
right.
you
And
get lonely.
I mean,
right. And truth be told, that ain't gonna keep a
Woo.
man.
it's
Truth be
The
not.
told, it doesn't keep a man.
It does
So,
not.
you know,
Yeah.
one thing I know my mother always said to me was that do not require anything more of a man than what you require of yourself. And
Go on,
for
mama.
for my mama deep. If you ever met her, mama deep. She's funny as all get out, but she deep. But it's true, and
Mhm.
that's something that always carried with me. I was like, if I want a man to have all these things, I need to be at the same place with that
Right.
with things I require. And a
Mhm.
lot of times I'm finding is that, I have my things I've done for myself or whatnot, and I have not found that. But yeah, I still have made exceptions in the past because they're just dynamic dudes. But then again, like you said, this younger generation, a lot of them don't want to work. I'm just gonna say it. A
Okay,
lot of
what
them
about
work
this?
is like what?
What
Huh?
about baggage? What about baggage? Because I think sometimes we all have baggage,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes we allow if there was a quote from my friend, her name was Fifi. She said, "If you're always looking in the past, you'll be in the past because you can never see your future."
Mm-hmm.
Right? And sometimes when you get in a new relationship and you want to do new things, you carry old things and act like the old thing is the new thing, but the new thing can never work because you really never let go of the old thing because you're still hurt by the old thing, and that
Mm-hmm.
old pain shows up in the new relationship, and sometimes not whether it's male or female, people take that out on that person. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And you're like, hold
Facts.
on, I didn't do this to you. We need to
Mhm.
work through this,
Right.
or you need to go do what you do. Because
Mhm.
Facts.
sometimes that can hurt things. And we talked about the list, but what's wrong with finding people that you can build with?
Not a thing.
Build with. And we know the WAP
It's
don't work. No disrespect to Cardi B because they didn't work out.
right.
Nope.
I mean, okay, but you know what? Cardi B is a good example. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't want to beat up on. I'm not trying to beat up on Cardi B, but here's another example. Like, sis, I need you to stop saying that all black men or black men ain't shit, but you choosing Offset. And I'm just using them as an example. Like, sis, you didn't know that one gonna work when you got up in that thing. You didn't know that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you thought that was gonna work, sis. Like, you thought that was gonna work. I mean, and not only did you date him, you married him
And had a kid
and
by
had a
him.
baby by him, and he was cheating on you prior to. He was cheating
But
on you. So it's not like he surprised you with it, sis.
right.
He's been cheating on you. And it's
Right.
just like, and then now you're gonna leave that and black men ain't nothing. A black man did me wrong. Black man this black.
But you
But
chose it.
sis, look at what you chose. Like,
Mm-hmm.
look at what you chose.
And that's
Sometimes
a
we
I
have to
kind of
take
feel like
those L's.
Yeah,
I,
that's across the board though. That same thing for black men and black women because
Fact.
truth be
Thank you.
told, you always see some, and I got some black single friends who tell me, I can't find a good woman. I'm like, oh, you choosing these women you dating. Why don't you change what you're
Hmm.
dating?
Yep.
That's a
Mm. Say
that's a
it
good
again
thing to
now.
do.
Say it
Hmm.
again now.
You know,
Turn to your
I'm just
neighbor.
saying. I'm just
yeah.
saying, change what you're
Hmm.
dating. If you're dating the
Mhm.
same type of woman or same type of man and keep dating the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, it's insanity. And I think a
Right.
lot
You
of times we
attracted to
do
that
that.
bullshit. You
You
like that
know,
bullshit. You like that drama. You like that
hey,
argument. You
and
like
some
that
people like that. I
Mhm.
just don't. I can't deal with it. But but you find that a lot of times people say that I just can't find a good man. I can't find a good woman. But you keep dating the same thing
welcome, welcome.
over
Mhm.
and
Wait, hold on.
over.
We got a
Mhm.
new guest. We want to welcome the
No
guest.
freaking.
Welcome. What's your name?
That's Nicole.
Oh, she's out here. She been on here.
Oh, great. My
That's
bad.
Nicola.
Go ahead, baby. Go ahead. My bad. I know. My fault. No one she's looking at me like, nigga,
Who's new?
right? Look, she over there. I know he ain't talking about me. I know he ain't.
she, she grabbed the air. She over to grab the air.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Like, communication go a long way too. Communication go a long way. But I kind of want to touch that. This is going to be a whole nother subject, right? We got to talk about this.
Okay.
Sometimes women have the viewpoints that they have in life because of what happened in their childhood, from being molested by Uncle Johnny, from being touched. And then when they go out into the world, you wonder why they're so sexually promiscuous because, they're being raped at home. And then they're like, oh, she's a thought, she's a slut, she's a this. But what kills me is, isn't it amazing how easy it is for you to call someone out their name than it actually is to ask a person what they've been through? Because maybe if you knew what they've
Mm-hmm.
been through, you wouldn't talk to them the way you talk to them. And if you still couldn't handle what they've been through, maybe you need to move out the way so the next person can come in and love that person the correct way, whether it
Mm-hmm.
be male or female. Let the
Mhm.
church say, Amen.
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 Hallelujah.
Well, and some people won't move out the way because that person's convenient for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
also
Or,
people don't
or
want to
or
be
you don't want to see
alone.
another person blow up. You don't want to see a
Right.
person do better without
Right.
you. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Right.
Peter. Right. No, I mean, I think we can't ignore issues like that, right? Because you bring those things into any potential relationship that you're going to have. So you can't ignore those things. And we talked about the whole Black women being angry thing, but let's just be honest. Like, there's been a lot of trauma in our community. We have experienced a lot of trauma, and it's come from many different directions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that knowing that Black men knowing the traumas that Black women face, Black women understanding that there's traumas that Black men face, like, why can't we have just a little bit more grace for each other? Like, where
Compassion.
can we just extend some grace to each other so that, we understand that instead of saying, well, I don't want to deal with all of your trauma, even though I understand why you have trauma, I don't want to deal with all of your trauma. You angry? I'm gonna go find me somebody outside of race who don't have the same kind of trauma, and they ain't as angry as you are. Even though you justified in your anger or your hurt, or because really anger is hurt. You're hurt. You're justified in your hurt and your pain, but I don't really want to deal with that. So I'm just gonna go over here to somebody who don't have that same anger or hurt or pain. Because I don't got time. I don't got time. I don't got time. Anybody got time? I don't got time.
It's the accessibility of all of it. Like, if you just want a new date, then just get on Tinder or POF.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And people want things easy nowadays. They don't want to work for things, honestly. True.
And that's
Yeah.
unfortunate. That's why we in a position we in.
Yeah.
I think social media has played a huge part in this scenario, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because beforehand, back in the day, when Mr. Tommy, you were talking, you would court a woman, you would take them out, skating ring, dancing, and all these different things. I feel like we've lost that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't.
Oh yeah.
Everybody want Netflix and chill.
We don't date how we used to date. You know what I'm saying?
We don't.
I still take women out on dates or whatever.
Peter, stop trying to get the dates off the show right now. Christiansingles.com.
But I wanted to add on that. Like, I do Uber too here in Los Angeles, and I can't believe
how his own app is called Uber and Please.
I can't believe how many women say that the guys don't pay for dates, and sometimes they make them pay for dates though.
They don't.
Oh yeah. Look, I tell you, it's bad out there. It's bad out there, honey. I mean, I've heard so many stories. It's because now it's a new thing of let's do a pre-date, which I'm not opposed to get some coffee because I may not like you, so I don't want to waste my time. However, there's this thing now dudes are doing where you go instead of having like a full-fledged dinner or whatever, you go to get coffee or go to the park, meet, see how y'all vibe, and then go to a real date if y'all have a good vibe. Which
that's a cop out. That's a cop out.
Dudes do that. That's what they do nowadays.
How y'all got social distance on a date?
That's a cop out. That's
I'm
basically, let me see if you look like how you like your profile, and let me just see, because I don't even know if I want to spend any money.
But see, that's smart. That's really, really smart, because with social media nowadays, when
catfish is real.
There's people I know personally that I've dealt with. I see some of their social media stuff. I'm like, who is that person? That ain't the person I know. And I'm telling you, I'm coming at you 100, and I ain't ashamed to say I was married to one of them. And I'm like, wait a minute, that ain't who. I said to myself, and I've said to other people, I would love to meet her, because that ain't the one I know. So you have to be cautious with that now.
Look at Sierra when she was with Future, and look at Sierra now that she's with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, see what money do? It's what it is.
I just think there needs to be a lot of emotional, intelligence and a lot of communication. I don't know the generation of everybody, but I'm 27, and the dudes around my age are like, the emotional intelligence is not there at all.
Wait. Well, where are you looking for these dudes, ma'am?
I'm a busy woman, so
she said right now she's not looking. She just saying.
Typically, I'm at work or I'm supporting some type of tech organization, so it's probably within my professional network, and that has its own
Mm-hmm.
issues. But
To tell you the truth,
yeah.
like
It just got interesting. It just got interesting. I love
Oh
it.
Lord.
to tell you the truth, if I worked at some place like I don't know, just some place like Best Buy or something like that, like nowadays with like Me Too and all that other stuff, like I wouldn't be looking for a relationship there, no matter how fine you are.
I mean that's understood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Look,
I don't want to lose
this is
my
what I'm
job.
saying. Hey, Mr.
I,
Tommy,
Yes,
can you
sir.
take us back? Can you take us back in the day, how it used to be with the courting a woman, the wine and down? How did you court women when you was a young man?
First and foremost,
Hey, wait, y'all ladies
Yeah,
hear
the
how
step for that.
his voice went to another register?
yeah. First and foremost, it wasn't all about, with my upbringing, it wasn't all about you. It was all about the one you were trying to get with. You
Okay,
know,
talk to us.
regardless of my age, and it happened all the way up until from junior high to my early 20s.
Okay.
I went through parents.
Mm.
I I
Oh,
I knocked
when
on
was the last
doors
time y'all
and
had a man talk to y'all parents?
I talked to dads that were there at home. I even dated asked a girl out whose dad and mother was separated. I talked to the
Mm.
mother. She said, "You got to go across town and talk to her dad."
Uh-oh.
Sheesh.
And that's what I did.
Yes,
There
sir.
was a time, there was a place for everything. Hell, I even went on a date with a parent
With the parents
with
chaperone. That's what they
us.
call chaperone. Those
Yeah,
young
That's
whippersnappers.
chaperone. Well,
Mm-hmm.
you can't go out, but y'all can come here and watch movies. That type of stuff.
Mommy in the kitchen.
Well,
Go ahead, go
and mama sitting right over there.
ahead.
That type of stuff.
Making
Make sure y'all
no
So,
got
funny
that pillow
business.
between y'all.
yeah,
Makes no funny
those,
business.
those type of things. So, I was taught to be a man at a young age. I was raised by my mother. My dad was absent. Uh,
Yes.
I had a stepdad that stepped up and turned me into the man I am today. I met my biological father when I was 28 years old.
Mm. Sounds
And
good.
he's my best friend right now. But and I
Mm.
didn't keep it personal. I didn't make it personal. I made it a point to not drag what I went through with him not being around into what what I wanted to be in life. Because like my mother said, there's a reason why that windshield is bigger than that rearview mirror.
Talk
I'm
to
gonna
him.
say it
Uh-oh,
again.
uh-oh.
I'm
Get
gonna say
ready.
it again.
Message alert. Message.
I'm gonna I'm gonna say it again. There's a reason why your windshield is much bigger than that little old rearview mirror that
Mm-hmm.
sits up there because it's small. Everything in your rearview mirror should be small. That your future is in front of you, and
Mm-hmm.
it does affect those relationships you go into if you drag that
Mm-hmm.
baggage.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
sir.
So I'm a big guy on counseling. Nobody can counsel you in anything that they've never been through themselves. That's where we miss the mark on counseling.
Yes, sir.
If you're a drug addict, somebody that ain't never been addicted to something, they can't tell you nothing.
Uh-oh.
If you've been molested or whatever, somebody that hasn't been through it can't tell you nothing.
Uh-oh.
So this is where a lot of parents have missed the mark, and by with the counseling don't work because hey, the people you're taking them to ain't been through nothing. They've got that piece of paper that says they got a degree in this,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't have a degree in
Right.
life things that has gone on in your life for your life.
Preach,
But
preacher.
uh, and that's the basis of it. This is a great forum. It's great what y'all doing. August 2nd, I turned 55. I'm alive at 55. And there's people in my neighborhood back in Gulfport, Mississippi, that said it wouldn't be done. I'm truly blessed to be able to share this with you guys. And
Yeah. Thank
and I'm an advocate. I'm a only son. I got 5 sisters. I'm a girl dad,
Uh-oh.
and I'm a boy
Mm-hmm.
dad
Aw.
also. And
Ladies,
I
hold on.
love
One more
life
second.
right now. And my girls are on the highest of high pedestals. I made sure they got good men in their life, and that's just the gospel because I'm a good man, and I was taught
Uh
by a
oh.
good woman.
Okay.
Uh oh.
All right.
Wow.
Ladies, find
Okay.
Tommy at Tommy
Happy
Armstrong on
belated
Facebook.
birthday.
I
Right.
appreciate it. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. My man, Mr. Jaquiel Martin, he's my dude.
Yeah,
We
I
go
know my
way
Tommy from
back.
the army. Yeah, Germany.
Yep, he's a good guy. I appreciate what he's doing. This is a great forum. Ladies, I love you. I love black women. I love what you stand for. You're the wind beneath all of our wings. Some of us
Oh shit, he's spitting that
will,
game. Uh oh.
will admit it. Some won't, and that's the problem today. That's why a lot of black women are single because they choose to be single and not put up with the garbage. Everything.
Facts.
Speaking of which,
A
Facts.
lot of stuff that we treasure end up being trash, and
Mm.
that's what I think
Oh,
most women, most black women, are fed up with. And I ain't mad at you.
he dropped the
Facts.
bomb up in here.
okay. But you
Facts.
know what? You know what? I'm glad he said that because hopefully, if Wace, if you will segue to this, I shared a post with Koasi that I wanted to talk to you guys about.
All
And
right.
it was the male perspective of why men don't want to get married.
Mm.
I
Why
can tell you
some
that.
men don't want to get married. So wait, if Koasi, if you still have that post, if you can post it, and then I want the male perspective if those things are true, and then I want the female perspective about how men potentially feel about why they don't want to get married. Because I agree with him when it comes to women.
I can't read that though. Can you read that,
Ooh,
Quay?
Yeah, and I'm gonna
I
read
need
it
my
up.
other glasses
You
on.
guys
You
hear
Lord
me?
gotta,
Jesus.
you gotta
I'm getting
finish
old.
television to get that right there.
Can you guys hear me?
Read it
Yeah.
Yeah,
to
read
us.
Yeah.
that for us,
Yep.
because we can't see that.
No, I'm gonna blow it up. I'm gonna read it up though.
Hey, wait, there's a feedback,
Echo.
sir.
Oh.
Yeah, hold on. Hold on one sec.
We got a huge echo.
Yeah, no, that's me, man. I'm trying to make this work because my
That was
phone is going
Jesus. We
crazy.
wasn't supposed to read that yet. We wasn't ready for that.
Tap, tap, tap in.
Let me see.
Uh-oh.
All right, how's that sound?
All right, we got you.
All right. So let me read this off. So it says why men don't marry. So the details of it says because there's nothing in it for them. What
Mm,
exactly does
Yeah.
marriage offer for men today?
mm.
Men know there's a good chance they'll lose their friends, their
Well,
respect,
mm,
their space,
yes, sir.
and their sex life,
Uh-oh.
Hmm.
their money, and if it all goes wrong, their family.
Yep.
Hallelujah.
Yep.
Oh,
They don't want to enter into a legal contract with someone who could effectively take half their savings, their pension, and
Oh,
oh
property
man,
when
mm,
the honeymoon period is
I gotta
over.
screenshot this.
mm.
Men aren't wimping out by staying unmarried or being commitment phobes. They're just being smart. Unlike
Mm.
women, men lose all power after they say I do. Their masculinity dies too.
Oh.
This post has me
Oh
so
man.
triggered. I need opinions on this post. I
Yep.
am so triggered by this post. This post triggers me.
Hey, don't be
Okay, I'm
rushing. What
triggered.
happened,
So
I
I'm
Sam?
gonna
wanted to
be
share the.
quiet and let everybody else speak, and I'm
I
gonna
need,
wait
I need
and
to
go
get some,
last.
I need to get some pen and paper
Can you
because I
keep
got
can you
thoughts.
keep the
I'm gonna
post
say
up
this
on the
about the
side
I
last
got
part
for
thoughts.
about
me?
men.
I got
I'm
thoughts.
I'm gonna say this about the last part about men losing all power. That's where they got it all confused. That's
Uh-oh.
where men gain all power. Do you
Wow.
realize how powerful you are as a man when you uplift your queen
Wow.
and really go into the bond of what you're supposed
Mm.
to with that queen? That is the most powerful thing of bonding you could ever have. It's
Yes,
what
sir.
God intended for Adam and
Yo,
Eve when he plucked that rib from Adam to make Eve. That's what
go,
Amen.
he intended.
Mm,
Period.
go.
You know,
Amen.
and that's where the
yes.
disconnect is. You don't lose power, you gain all
No.
power through that.
Right.
And
Wow.
that's what I'm gonna say on that.
Mm,
Mhm.
mm,
Turn to your neighbor and
mm.
say you don't lose no power.
You don't lose no
Ain't
power.
no
None.
power.
And look, they got it all twisted.
Mm.
See,
I'm still gonna have to agree with the post 100%.
uh-oh, we got
No.
a debate here.
Well, I mean, pretty much exactly just like what the post said. Like, I mean, I didn't even need to read that because, like me, whenever I think of today's world and how people can just they can just like a girl, she can just post a thing on Instagram and get like 500 to like 1,000 likes or something like that, and then all of them are pretty much potential suitors or whatever. So she can just hop from you just like that, just be like, well, Bob's been liking like all my other comments or whatever. He's like the last 20 comments. Let me see what Bob's up to. And then you're just out. And then like as a man, like I mean, I really feel like there's no benefit. Like once that ring goes on or whatever, and if we have kids or something like that, then I mean, if we get a divorce, then she's taking like the whole house or whatever. She's taking the cars, and even if she's a stay-at-home mom, she's still taking all of that. And then on top of that, then she's getting, as long as she's not like doing coke in front of the judge or whatever, sniffing lines, she's gonna take the kids too.
He just say
Which
coke.
I'm gonna,
So
which I'm,
is this a person? Is this a specific person that you have experienced,
I
or are you just
Get
giving
him, Pete.
no,
Get him, Pete.
statement?
I'm just saying that like probably 90-95% of the time, it does not
Damn.
matter. It does not
95?
matter
Where you get them
that
know.
statistics from?
Jesus.
Yeah,
no time out that
I need a
the
link
women
to
are
this.
going to get the kids in court. It does not
Oh
matter.
no. Well, he telling the truth about that right there, though. He telling the truth
And
about
I
that.
also want to say, let's go back to your
Peter, you
little
giving
deal where you
COVID
said,
19 numbers.
yeah.
Terrible.
No, I can find it. I can find it. I can find it.
Go ahead, Peter.
And then
Got him.
also on top of that, like remember how you said like women are more influenced or whatever. You said I can't remember. Did you say the weaker sex? What did you say?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
What
He
did you
coming for you,
say?
Chloe. He talking to you, Chloe.
Oh, you talking to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Remember? Okay.
Well, the
Well,
yes,
devil's gonna
when
come
genetically.
you
with
Yep.
said that,
temptation.
well,
He gonna tempt the weaker sex.
men, they always have to they always have to figure shit out for themselves. But women, like they always have like a shoulder to lean on that they can cry on, that they can go back to
Where?
their family.
Where?
They can talk to their friends or
Hold on,
whatever.
Peter.
They got the potential suitors that they can lean on their shoulder to as well. All telling
Hold
them
on.
it's gonna be
Hey,
all
Peter.
right or whatever. And like
Peter.
it's like and then you get them telling them like, you know what, you never needed that dude. Even he could have been the perfect guy. You never needed that dude. You know what, Becky over here, she got some extra money. I mean, she had to lie in court or
Why
whatever,
did you have to
but
bring
she got
Becky
the
into it?
kids.
What the hell?
I don't know.
One
That's
second.
the
Hold
first
on.
name I
I'm
could think of.
confused.
I
One
don't
Ashley.
second.
know.
Confused.
I don't
Maybe I'm
know.
confused.
Ashley.
Becky.
Let us pray for Peter right now.
Amen.
All
Yes.
right. So Ashley, right? Ashley got some money or whatever. She had to
Thank you.
lie a little bit, but like once she got through it, it was all over. And now look at Ashley. Like all she has to do is work a part-time job. Her car, she's
Part
paying her
time?
new car.
Who are these women you did that
Right.
you're talking about?
Who
I'm
are these women
confused.
That's what I want
you
to
have encountered? Because
I-
it sound like a gold digger. It sound like
Right.
somebody
Trifling.
who was super spoiled and trifling, and who
Bring us
just
back.
Okay.
Bring us back, Peter.
who just
Wait,
don't
So
have no real credibility.
speaking of trifling, I
bring
feel like the
Peter back.
reason speaking of trifling, I feel like the reason Cardi B got married is because one, she was before all that,
That's
I think
Cardi
she's
B.
before all that, she was a stripper or whatever, and then she was I don't know,
See,
drugging these guys or
hold
something
on.
like that, stealing money or something like that. But I feel like she went into that relationship knowing all that because she's specifically after his money and his social circle or whatever.
But she has built her own empire on.
She built her own empire,
She got her own from
Yeah.
before she was with Offset.
She
But
built her own.
Now, do we all
no,
agree
Offset
with how
helped her.
that was? Maybe not.
Offset
But I
helped
mean,
her.
she's done
Wait,
quite a
you
bit on
either.
her own
No,
by
Offset
herself.
helped her.
First of all, let's stop
When?
that.
No.
Let's just go
Secondly,
back to the
Can
topic
we
There's
at
a
get
hand.
can we
YouTube
get
video
an
out.
okay,
everyday
wait.
example?
Let's
Because
stop
this
that.
aspirations Cardi B right now to me is irrelevant.
Hold tight.
One at a time. One at a time. Go ahead.
Before we try to judge somebody for being a stripper, right? You gotta know their backstory and what
Yeah.
happened through their life before you try
Yeah.
to talk about them and try to
We
throw
ain't got a
stones
clue.
if your shit
Right.
don't stink. So let's please not judge somebody to make it seem as if someone's less of a person because of things that might have happened in their life that led to the results that you might not agree with.
No, I'm
Right.
saying
Now,
no. I'm saying
hold on, please. Thank you very much. And a stripper can only strip for someone who's sitting up there coming to pay the dollars. So that is
Thank
a
you.
two-way entanglement, Jada.
Right.
That's an entanglement where you have someone who's dancing, providing a service for a person. So
Right.
usually it's the male coming there to watch her strip. So we got to do that both ways. So we just gonna go and bash strippers and act like dudes ain't showing up there throwing bands. Bands can make them dance. You know what I'm saying? That's a two-way street. We're not gonna do that.
I'm dead. I'm just
Second
gonna
of
lay down
all,
here.
yes,
Also,
and at the same time, we go back to the the S and
hold on.
V or whatever of a woman, and then you know that
Second of all,
she's
Peter.
using that.
No, second of all, we came from men have a huge issue with molestation in the home. Men have been raping women for a long time. Period. So we're not gonna give no pass on that at all. Accountability. And secondly, when we talk about this relationship thing, right? You do have things called prenups that you can sign before you get married, if that's your worry or whatever else.
Which means nothing in California.
Also, in that situation, while that empire is being built, you are forgetting it's not just a person just at home doing nothing.
Right.
A lot of times we don't give women enough credit for how they encourage, how they support, how they cook, how they clean, how they help out, the ideas that they give, but when they tell you this ain't gonna work, the other part of the balance, because the head can't move without the
Them
neck.
babies.
Well.
Them babies.
Come on now.
Wow.
So, hold on. What about them putting their dreams on hold? What about them not going to school? What about you being able to go out there and school? What about when men? Well, hold on. What about when men leave and then men ain't doing nothing and then they leave the kids with the woman? The woman can't leave because if she leaves, then guess what? She's going to jail for child abduction, or excuse me, not child abduction, but for leaving the child by herself while a man can go run off and do whatever the hell he want to do, and he's not held to the same standard as a woman. We don't want to talk about child support because a lot of dudes, punk ass dudes, don't want to play child support, don't want to take care of their kids, don't want to do their part, don't want to show up. But on the other hand, we do have women that deny men to be able to see their children. So that's a two-way street. And everything that you're saying, you got to look at the other side of the street before you just put fingers on one side of the street to make it seem like one side of the street is better than the other. It's a combination. It's a balance of everything. Now, do you have people that go out their way to get mad greedy?
Yep.
Hell yeah. You absolutely do. But you can't take those one examples and act like that one example is the masses, because there's a lot of women out there, especially black women out there, that don't put their man on child support because they don't want them to get caught up in the system, because they don't want them to get locked up, because they do look out and still get fucked over by the dude. So we got to be able to balance that whole equation out, bro. And that's another show we need to have on Quay, child support.
Hey, let me say this. Let me say this. Let me say this last thing about that post. And yeah, he has his God-given right to feel the way he did about it and says it's all true. But I'm gonna beg to differ. I'm gonna say this: everything on there is nothing but possibilities. Everything on there is possible. But like I said, if you do your job and do what God intended you to be, it is what it is. Everything he got a reason to be spooked. If that's his mindset on thinking, until we as black men change our mindset and stop looking at it as being possibilities. This is going to happen. They're going to take our money. We never going to change. We never going to elevate the black woman. We're never going to get past this. Yeah, be cautious of your dating world and this, that, and the other. But if you in it to win it, and you God driven, man, you're gonna be straight. And just remember, all that is possibilities.
Now here's the other part of that, Mr. Tommy. Don't we take the same risk? I said, here's the other side of that. Don't we take those same risks when we go to a corporation and work for someone else?
All day, every
It's a
day.
possibility that you might get fired. It's a
Yeah,
possibility that you might get this. It's a possibility that you might get talked about. Blah, but you still get
yeah,
up there and go get that money. You
yeah.
still get
But
up
you're
there and go
not
take
going to lose your house or
responsibility.
car over it, or your family.
You might,
You can.
you
Yeah.
might, you
Okay.
might.
You can.
So
Yeah. It
okay.
ain't just
So
women just taking your house and your cars. It's bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad decisions. You can't just
okay.
blame that
So
woman for it, you know. And most of the time, if you do what you gotta do and you throw it down like you supposed to, guess what? That woman ain't going nowhere.
Facts.
And that's facts.
Facts.
That is fact, dude.
Facts.
It is
Facts.
what it
And
is.
they over there
And in
scratching
fact, if you
their
do,
head,
if
that
you're,
quiet
if you,
as
and I was gonna say, in fact, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you probably get more from her because she's more willing to
well,
give more to you if you're doing what you're supposed to do. And I
That
feel
is.
like a lot of times, you know, men want to say, she don't do this, she don't do that, she don't do this, but yet that woman is taking care of the kids, cleaning the house, cooking for you, doing everything in the house, and all you do is going to work.
And that
changing
same
diapers,
car, that
feeding the
house, and
together,
all that
loading up the
stuff you
car,
talking about
warming up the
getting
bottle,
taken from
feeding the
you,
kids.
when they
Right,
bury you, you can't take it with you.
I really
right.
haven't seen
yeah.
women do all that for the past like 5, almost 10 years.
Okay, keep
I mean,
living,
okay.
bro.
So
Hey,
let me
Peter,
Keep
have you
just
ever been
living.
let
married?
me
Peter, have you
guys.
ever been married?
No,
Have you ever been
and
married?
no,
Let Chloe get
Oops.
the opinion
I'm
real
not going
quick.
to get
But
no, and
That
I'm not
explains
going
a lot
to.
Hold on,
there.
fellas. Hold on, fellas. Go ahead, Chloe.
So my point that this is my point, and this is spoken as a woman who's been married, who has both been a working mom, and a stay-at-home mom. I have been able to have both of those experiences. So I'm going to break down to you why that post triggered me so much, and why I really think it's disrespectful. I do appreciate Peter being honest, because if
Yeah.
men really feel like this, we need to know. We need to know, because as women, especially single women, you need to know what you're up against. Like, you
mm-hmm,
need to know that this is the mindset that some men have out here. Okay. But
Yeah, you hit
let
the
me
nail
just
on the
say this,
head.
and
Some men.
this
Some.
some men have out here, that some men have out here. And this is not an attack on anybody on this panel at all. But if I feel bad for the man who has that perspective, because you're missing out on so much. Like,
mm-hmm,
just like Mr. Tommy said, like, there are, yes, those things are a possibility, but one, going back to Los's point, let's look at the flip side of that. Okay, I'm married, I've lost friends. Okay, I had to give up space, I had to sacrifice my personal life. I had to sacrifice my body. I don't look the same as I did when he met me. Like,
When did you get married?
I've also had to deal with, the possibility of, if all things go, let's examine, if all things go wrong. Okay, I'm 2 kids in. All right, I mean, I'm creeping towards 40. Okay, I got stretch marks from my babies. So now the next relationship I go into, should me and Mr. Price decide to go our separate ways, now I got baggage and the stretch marks to prove it. Now I
Man,
work
what
now.
did Cat
I got
Williams, what
work.
Cat
I
Williams
got
said
now.
about
I
them
work.
stretch marks?
Okay, wait a minute. I work now, but I used to.
You
I
was
work
small
now,
and
but
got
I
big?
used to. But I used to be a stay-at-home mom. No, let's examine what that looks like for a stay-at-home mom. This whole time I've been cooking, I've been cleaning, I've been taking care of the kids, I've been taking care of the house, I've been doing all the work. And yes, there are plenty of
That
women
is
who
a
do that. I know
full-time job.
several of them. So I don't know who
mm-hmm.
you're running into, but there's plenty of women who do that. I know several of them. And when if should we break up, when I leave, I'm leaving with nothing, because I've spent all my time, my
Mm-hmm.
energy, I've invested my life, I've invested all of this into this relationship that doesn't work out. So Mr. Price ain't paying me for that. I'm not getting properly compensated for the time and the effort and the life risk and all of that that's going
Mm-hmm.
into taking care of baby. Because if he had to pay me for all of that, he would be broke already, because that's not cheap. So yes, When I leave, yeah, you're gonna make sure the kids are taken care of financially. Yeah, you're gonna make sure I'm taken care of financially, at least until I get on my feet. Because it's an investment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And
You
if
made
you
an
go in
investment.
thinking
Yeah,
materialistic, you
you
can't
did. You made an investment,
materialistic.
and the return that you get on your investment, you're already receiving your return on the investment that you made.
Mm-hmm.
You made an investment, and when you go into marriage already with the mindset of what I'm going to lose,
You're
then yeah,
defeating
you
yourself.
lost. You
Right.
already
Yeah.
lost. You
Right.
can't
You
go
can't
into
go
a
into it thinking
marriage
materialistic.
with the
Right.
That's
mindset
just
of
it.
what you could potentially lose, because you're already saying
Yeah.
i'm I'm not going to fight for this marriage. I'm probably, if this don't work out, I'm just going to go ahead on and I'm going to take this L.
Mm-hmm.
You're going into it with that mindset. Like Mr. Tommy said, we need to start getting back to understanding that marriage is a institution that was ordained by God. I know it. I get it that this society has made it about the piece of paper and made it about the ring and made it about the dress
Yeah.
and made it about. I understand
My
all
The
of that.
stuff.
I
wedding.
My
understand
stuff.
all
The
of
My
that.
wedding.
stuff.
But this institution
They learn
was
how to make money off
ordained
of
by
it.
God, and if we do it the way He intended it to be done, and we honor it the way He intended for us to honor, all of this, I'm finna get. She gotta get half, and all this stuff wouldn't be happening. First of all, we would pick better mates.
Yep.
First
Yep.
of all.
Yep.
Second of all, we both would have the right mindset going into it. And
Mm-hmm.
then last but not least, should
Equally yoked.
God forbid something does happen, then you both will also have the right mindset should you have to part.
Wow.
So it's about
Say it.
us changing our mindset. As women, we have to change our mindset going into these relationships or even entertaining wanting to be in a relationship. Men, you need to change your mindset going into these relationships or even entertaining the idea of wanting to be in a relationship. How about you make sure that you have healed those wounds? You make sure that you have fixed yourself first, and then you pray for God to send you someone who is a match for you.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of you going out here and you basing it off
Ooh.
of all of the
Say it.
things that you want instead of all of the things
That's
that you
it.
need. To see
You know
what
why
you
he ain't gonna
want
do it,
and what
Quason?
you need
That's
are
right.
always in conflict of each other. What you
You know
want
Mm-hmm.
why
and
it ain't
what
gonna
you need
happen?
are always in conflict of each other. And what happens is you marry what you want, not what you
What you
need, and that's
Yeah.
why it doesn't last.
How
Be
fact.
you
How
careful. Be
how long have you
careful
been
what you
married?
pray
how
for
about this, Chloe?
because you
How long have you
Fact.
just
been married?
might get it.
How long have you
How
been married?
come you ain't worried about none of that when you
Mhm.
having sex?
How long have you been married?
13
How
years.
come?
Okay,
How come
that's the
people don't
difference
never
right
worry
there
about that
because
when they're having sex?
today's age or whatever, whenever you're like, I want to say maybe like 33, 34, you're bouncing back and forth between that, oh, like all this feminism, all this social media, I can do what I want, to, oh, I really want something. I'm still taking girls out on dates or something like that. Other guys aren't doing that. Like I'm still getting left in the past. So that is the difference between your relationship, whatever, and what I'm
What's the
dealing with
difference? I missed that.
Oh,
What was the difference?
is that
Yeah.
you're still doing old fashioned. I'm still trying to do old fashioned, but they clicked it up a notch, or whatever. Where all you got to do to just find like another potential suitor is you just get on Tinder, you just check your Instagram. That's what I'm
social
saying.
media.
But part of it is you guys where is who you again changing. If you all you're dating is or you meet is all the same type of woman, you may have to change the type of woman that you're going to and going to trying to talk to, because that's what it boils down to. Truth be told.
No, I
Look,
talked to a variety, and to tell you the truth, I've been praying for like 15 years.
now Pete, I know you. I know
Yeah,
you.
Uh
And I ain't
go
gonna do
Don't
ahead,
that
put them
on the
on
show.
blast. Don't put them
oh.
on
I ain't
blast.
gonna do
go
that on
ahead,
the
Don't put them
show.
on blast.
go
That's what
ahead.
we ain't gonna do.
Say that
So
again.
I love you, and I'm gonna leave it there.
I didn't hear what you said.
He said
I
he
said
love
I
you.
love you, and I'm gonna leave
So
it
leave it
there.
there.
Cause I
Okay.
know
He
you.
said he gonna take this offline.
Right.
Real talk. We're not gonna do that on the show.
Sometimes when we are in hunting mode, we're not thinking about that. We just trying to get the draws, dog. Ain't nobody thinking about all that. Let's be real. You're not thinking about none of that other stuff. And when you're trying to get the draws, you ain't worried about none of that. You just worried about trying to get your nut.
I thought we were taking it offline.
Wait. I did. I didn't. I'm just talking to men in general. Just men in general.
I do not. The views of King Jaquel are not especially the views.
I'm not saying that. I'm being real. I'm look, this show's about having a real conversation. And sometimes people just want to go out and wild out. People ain't talking about every time you meet a person, oh, I'm marrying her. No, some people just trying to go out and have sex. Some people trying to just wild out. You know what I'm saying? And the results of having sex lead to children, lead to broken home, lead to everything else. So why is it that if we were biblically doing it the right way, biblically, you ain't supposed to be out there just fucking anyway?
That's true.
You're supposed to find your mate first.
Here's where I think my man misses the mark. Here's where I think he's missing the mark. I keep hearing on Tinder and on this and on that, trying to find this. That's where you're missing the mark. You want to go to Bible study, go to church.
Yeah.
Go to one of these volunteer programs where you're giving back to youth and watch what kind of women you find there. Get rid of all this social media where you're hunting at, because you're hunting a field where you're gonna find a whole bunch of foul stuff. Go to the good spots. You know.
I don't just do Tinder or POF.
I'm not blaming. I'm just saying.
I go to the
this
park.
Is what I've heard.
I go.
Listen, hey, get out there, put your Sunday best on, and go to church and start people out.
The reason why I brought up Tinder or whatever is just because, like you said, people of today are lazy or whatever. So that I have a more
at least you're
or whatever. I have a lot better chance or whatever of having like a conversation with them. But where I'm talking about, where
you have a better chance of having a conversation with people where, Peter?
Huh?
You said you have a better chance of having a conversation with Peter where?
No, with conversation with them.
Who? Where? On what?
People on social media. Tinder.
Are you saying that you have a better chance of talking to women on Tinder and plenty of fish than you do have a better chance of talking to people?
What I'm saying is because if I go outside right now, chances are, like most women, they're glued to their phones. So I have a better chance of having the conversation. So while she's glued to her phone, she can be talking to me.
Okay, it's not a statistical game though. I mean, you're gonna have to go through it.
Oh, trust me, I know. I've been through a whole bunch of relationships, and on top of that, the other reason why I brought up Tinder was because, like, the second question, the main reason why I won't get married or whatever is because the second question is always, what do you do for a living?
That's
a fair question. That's a fair question.
That's a fair question. That's a fair question, but I don't want to hear it the second question. I don't want to hear it as the second question.
Hey, Peter,
I want to have a conversation first.
Hey, Peter, what you doing on Tinder? What you looking for?
Hold on, Lo.
No, I'm just saying, like, dating profiles in general.
I want Peter and Nicole to chat. Go ahead and ask them what you was asking them, Nicole.
Or my comment was, oh Lord, now I gotta back up. So my comment was, well, I think finances then must not be a concern, because to me, given my background, especially what I share, what you do for a living is probably first question and a half of what I'm going to ask you. And it's given because I know what I've done, I know what I'm working for, and I know what I'm trying to build, and I know who I'm trying to build it with. So,
to tell you the truth,
it's the only way you're gonna find out.
To tell you the truth, I'd probably just delete you right there.
That's fine.
Because that just right there, just tells me that you're getting ready to take the house and kids. Like, you're already prepared to do that.
Wait a minute.
Wait
Wait a minute.
You ain't got no
But
house.
see,
You ain't got no
I
kids.
already had my own house. I could come and come and say, hey, I don't even need that because I already have my own house. And trust me, I probably
right.
don't even want a kid. So you haven't even
But
asked
I
the
don't know
question yet.
that.
You're not even making an
But
assumption.
yeah,
But
but I
Peter,
don't know that
here's my thing.
because the
Hey, Pete,
first wait, I don't know that because the first to second question you asked was like basically how much do you make?
Right. And what did you hear me say
But
before that?
all
I
right,
said, based off my background, that is why I'm asking that question. You didn't hear that part. You just heard what I asked you.
yes,
Right.
but you're also
You have to
forgetting that.
understand me and why I'm asking the question first before you just assume or just
Yeah.
ask.
But
Come
You
on,
can't
buddy.
assume.
yes,
You
but
can't
you're
Put the
also
assume.
horse in
forgetting.
front of the carriage.
Yes, but you're
Put the
also
horse in front
forgetting
of the
that I
carriage.
just
You got
met
the
you on this
carriage
app.
tied.
You're also forgetting that I'm not a
hey,
mind reader. I just met you on this app. That's the second question that you asked me.
but hey, Peter, here's the thing, right, bro? Something happened to create that fear for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, it is.
and you're not wrong for having that fear. You're not wrong for how you're thinking, but you might want to just go back
Get
and say,
that
yo,
fixed,
what
dude.
triggered that for me? Because something
Get that
triggered
fixed.
that for me to believe that if someone just asks me, what am I doing? I got to shut everything down because they're going to take everything from me. Something happened.
I can already answer that question. Back
Okay.
home in South Dakota, if I get on one of these dating apps or whatever, we can have a conversation, we can do all that. And chances are, like maybe the second or third date, like she might ask me, so what do you do? On the second or third date. So what do you do? And
Okay.
then also, I have friends that I go to high school with that still don't know what I do. They didn't know what I did in South Dakota, nothing. Like I still don't know what they do.
But Peter, what I'm saying is, you said you dated many of people, right? You've talked to a
Yeah.
lot of women in the world, right? So for all the women that didn't ask you that as their first question or their second question, they asked you that on the third date, the fourth date, fifth date. How did that work out for you?
It worked out great. I dated a lot of them
Then why are
for
you not
probably,
still with them?
huh?
Then why are you
Because most
still
of
not
them
with
wanted to
them?
stay in South Dakota, and I wanted to move to California, and I wanted to
So it couldn't have been
expand.
that great if you guys still aren't together, because if it was the right one, you would still be there.
Or she would be with you.
But I wanted to move out of South Dakota due to the
It's
fact
not
that
about where you are,
Hold on,
bro.
Lo.
it is. It
Let me
is. I wanted
let me
to
get a
move to.
question in real quick. Let
All
me
right,
get a
Pete.
question in real quick. So Peter, when a female asks you that question, like what does that tell you? What is that telling you? That kind of triggers you.
About like ask me what I do like
Yeah. So
the first or second.
when a
It
female
triggers
asks
me.
you right
It
out the
trigger.
gate, what do you do? Like what does that bother you? Like do you feel like she's
Yeah.
material? Like what does that tell you about the female?
Yeah, it bothers me a lot. It tells me that she's gonna be a handful. It tells me that she's gonna be expecting like 5-star dates or whatever. It's it basically it's basically like
Who are you dating? I'm sorry.
it's that
I got
and
questions.
it's that and it's
I
just
just got
she's like,
questions.
what can I get out of this already? Now let's
See,
see what
that's
happens.
coming
What
from
can I
my
get
own
out of this
bag. I'm
already?
not worried about yours.
Wait, so
Right.
Peter, my
So these
question is this.
conversations I wouldn't even be
Can this
having.
person
So
like can
Peter,
this
they
person
can't.
take me to
So
McDonald's? Can they take me
knowing
to a
what
fuck?
you do automatically means I just want money from you, or could be knowing what you do mean, hey, we might have this in common. We might not have
Right.
that in common.
Right.
No.
Why does it have to equal a take from you?
No.
No, I'm
No.
asking you.
We
Why is
can
it if I ask you what do you do means I'm just gonna automatically take from you?
because
We
we
might
can
not
have a
even go out on a
conversation
date. We might
first.
not go anywhere. It's just a
Because
conversation.
yeah, because we can have a conversation first.
That's part of the
That's part of the
conversation.
conversation.
Yeah, it's part of it.
No.
Hold on, let
No.
me ask this real quick. So Peter, based
No.
off what you saying, let's just
Jesus.
say out of 10 dates, when is it okay for the female to ask you that question out of those 10 dates? What number date?
He's muted.
Oh,
Are you muted, Peter?
The second or third date.
second or third
Am
date?
I?
No, I
Yeah.
hear
We
you.
hear you now.
Okay.
That ain't what it said a while ago.
Yeah, I'm just
What
trying to understand, man, because it almost sounds like the lady is asking you
Like
what
that
do you
really
do,
just
right?
sounds like a gold digger to me.
Okay, so
But if I'm coming with my own bag, then how is that sounding like I'm a gold digger? Like I said,
Right.
what if I what if I pay for the day? I might like 5-star restaurants, but I'm paying for the day because that's what I'm accustomed to. That
Okay,
doesn't make me
well,
go.
chances are I'm not gonna let you pay for the date.
Well, now so ego, it's no win-win then. You got the ego coming forward. You got
He
No,
been through something.
no, you can pay
He
you
been
can pay
through
Why
something.
you
for
looking like that, Quay?
Somebody hurt him.
No,
no,
because
you
I'm,
can
what I'm
you
hearing
can
people
pay
say,
for
sorry
you
for
can pay
that.
for like the third date or something like that, but I'm not gonna let you pay
that's
for
some
like the
Okay,
first
counseling.
one or two
wait,
dates.
but
Wrong
Peter,
I
signal.
think
Peter,
I think the confusion is that you're cutting somebody off for asking a simple question, and you're not sure really what the basis of that question is until you get to know that person. Because truth be told, I have my own money. I could pay for my own dates. I asked that question to find out that we have some commonality with each other. So,
Exactly.
that's
so
what
the
I
fact
said.
of the matter is, it's not because I want anything from you because I can provide for myself. The thing is, I just want to see, oh, you may have something that do something I may be interested in, you know? So cutting somebody off for simply asking that question, you could be cutting off some really good women from it to be just friends with or be something more from. So you may want to be careful doing that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh, we can find a way to create it back
Mm,
together. Shoot, you
You
don't
know,
know.
you know what I'm
no,
saying? Shoot.
no, we need to have like
Wait
a
a minute. Wait.
we need to
Wait
have
a
a
minute.
conversation before like questions like that get asked.
Wait a minute.
I mean,
Wait.
asking
We can
women,
barely hear you. You
What
kind of
rule book
low.
did you get that from?
Is your
Huh?
mic down? Is your mic down?
you said
Is
it's
my mic
down.
down?
Your mic down. Is your mic down? Wait. I'm talking to Kawasi. We can bear. You're kind of
Someone's
low.
crackling.
Feedback, Quay.
Feedback. Oh,
Hey, let me see.
That's the Lord right now. Ooh.
yes.
Damn, what's with all these?
I think the feedback was coming from.
Okay.
All right.
There's a reason why you're that defensive, bro. And
So,
something happened to
wait.
you where and there's nothing wrong with it because that's how you want to do it.
Well,
Because
it's probably mainly LA or whatever.
it's
Like,
your life and
it's
you're
probably
free to
mainly
live
LA.
that. Right. Whatever tragic happened. You know what I'm saying? Something happened to give you that perspective. Now, do people ask crazy questions? When I first got here, I'm used to a guy paying for the first 5 dates. I don't even know you, and how you know we're gonna get to day 5?
Right.
now
So
that,
now,
of course,
what
would
if
be,
my
you know,
question rhetorically not being funny or disrespectful? Well, I expect to have sex on the first day. How could you say that? Exactly. So please don't come at me like that. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want that in return, because that comes off disrespectful. So, I understand to a certain perspective of where you're coming from, Pete, but I feel like you should allow information to flow before you just make an automatic decision, bro.
That's
Right.
that's not information flowing. That's
It is. If
what
I'm
can you
asking you,
what can you do for me right now?
but we're saying the woman isn't coming with the
I
expectation or
understand.
mindset.
I understand what you're saying, but
obviously
like
you
here
don't,
in
Peter,
LA,
because you just
we're
had
like
3
50.
different women
I'm
sit
just
here and say
confused.
that they're asking you because they want to see if you have something in common, not
Right.
because I need
And
something
then
from you.
I'll go forward with that for me. So, go ahead.
And let's go ahead and pause that. So, like I said, 1 in LA or whatever, it's basically what can you do for me, and then 2, like whenever I go back home, I don't hear that type of question until like maybe the second or third date.
Is that but have you dated every single woman in LA? Because I trust you believe every single woman in LA is probably not like that. Again, it boils down to the type of woman you're dating.
So
That's what it sounds like to me.
yeah,
If every
what is
woman
the
you're coming
type of
across,
person?
right?
Well,
Because
I
that's
Yeah,
what it
mean,
like
sounds like to
what is
me.
your type of person that you typically will like ask out on a date or at least communicate to online? Like what are some commonalities that you're finding that you like? What is your preference?
Right.
what's my preference, or what
Yeah,
do I always talk to?
both. Like what does she look like? What is she, ideally what does she I guess do? What does she dress like?
No, hold on.
I
I
like
caught that.
white girls, black girls. Like I don't know. I like all women.
Peter, you
I
just
think
said
it's
something
more
though, man.
about. Yeah, I said
You
I
call
like
it quick?
white girls, black
No,
girls.
but you just said
I
either
caught
the
that.
type of girls you date. Like I just heard that, man. Like there's a
That I said I
problem there.
like
I
all
just
You
heard
women.
that.
said something. Wait, you
You
said something like,
paused.
"What's my preference?" or "What's the type of girl I date?"
Right.
Right.
No, I said that because I didn't want to get in a sticky situation or whatever. Because we're
It's
talking
already
about
sticky.
why.
Hey, we all over here.
Because I didn't.
We promise.
I
We
didn't want
promise we
everyone
won't
to
leak.
jump on top of me because we're
You're
talking
bringing
about
up
why
good point
black
right
women are single.
Hey, let me
And
do
you
this.
right,
That's
he's
why.
right
That's why I
though.
said
off.
that.
We're getting, we don't want to jump on. He's
Yeah,
right.
we're
Peter's
gonna beat
right
you
though.
up, Peter.
We
We're not
don't
gonna jump
want to
on
keep
you.
harping on
Yes,
Peter.
we do. Yes.
No, we don't. That's not
I love
fair.
you,
We
King.
not
I
I'll
gonna
be
do
good. We
love you.
everybody
we're gonna
look.
segue off. We're gonna segue
Every
off. So let
Let's
me
get back
put
to the
this.
topic.
Yeah, let me put this question out here real quick. Before we
we
get
coming
ready
on.
to
We
wrap.
coming to the end of the show.
What'd you say, Los?
I said, how we doing on time? Are we almost coming to the end?
No, we
You
good.
okay?
We got about another 10 minutes, then we'll wrap it up.
All right.
But I want to segue into this last topic before we get ready to close out. So I know we touched on feminism earlier, which we know that's a big piece of, what we seeing, as far as a lot of our single black women. Feminism, at least from my perspective, led to this whole concept of the independent woman. Right. So I know there was, Beyonce had a song about this and independent this, and you don't need this, that, and the third. But yeah, she went and got married. So let's keep it in perspective, right? So she not doing what she's singing about. Then you got Cardi B. She's talking the stuff she talking, but then she went and got married. So let's keep it in perspective. So the question I want to ask is for the ladies on the panel that are single and for the gentlemen on the panel that's single. Are you too independent when a good person comes along to the where you miss out on that good person?
Lord Jesus.
Ooh, child.
All right, on that note, Nicole, you first.
Let me answer that. Let me answer that.
Go ahead.
Because I think I'm a little bit older. Let me pat the hair down. Let me pat the hair. So
all right, Nina first, then Nicole second.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'll be breathing in the corner.
Okay. So I would say if the right person come along, I'll be happy to give him that ball. Run with it, babe. I'm gonna support you through it all. Because truth be told, I know my mom again was like, make sure you can always be able to carry yourself. But at the same time, if you meet that right one, baby, hit the ball. Let's go. I won't do it by myself. I don't want to do this by myself. I do want somebody to share my life with. But a lot of times I'm like, I've seen good marriages. I've seen bad marriages. I'm good with balance. So for me, I would say that no. I had to learn that lesson though when I was about 5 years ago when my ex told me you're too independent for your own good. But if I say I get my brakes fixed and you want to fix them, I need to get them done ASAP. I'm not gonna wait for you to do it. And he had a problem with that. So for me, I learned a lesson. Now, no, take the ball, babe, run with it. Go, do it. I don't want to do it by myself no more.
Okay,
that's
I hear that. I hear that. Go ahead, Nicole.
All right, I need you to repeat the question. I'm still breathing.
No, so the question is just, like I said, I know the whole concept of the independent woman, right? But have you ever found yourself in a situation where you were too independent when a good person came along and you end up turning them away?
Yes, but I feel like for me, I feel like it's different. I feel like it's the aspect in life that I'm in. So right now, so I already told you I already graduated from undergrad, but now I'm back in school. So I feel like the whole concept of where I am in life right now kind of forces me to be that way. Like, my industry is tough. It's really cutthroat. It's a lot of extra work that I have to do. So I feel like that attitude after work kind of carries on to other aspects, and I'm used to moving a certain way. So
oh, you sounding real independent right here. You used to moving a certain way.
I said I was breathing before this question.
I got you.
I said I was breathing before this question.
So there's some validity to this question then.
It is, but But it's like she said, I don't want to do it all by myself. But I'm gonna need you to be timely. Like you can't be waiting, to get
So
stuff
wait a
done
minute.
and need to be done.
Wait a minute. So you can't wait. So you can't say you want a man to come along and sweep you off your feet, but he got to do it on your terms. Come on now.
Little bit.
Oh.
Little bit.
Wait a minute. Nicole, how old are you?
27.
So it's a difference in age too. At 27, I was there. I know I understand where you're at.
Nina.
No, I understand where she's at. I understand where you're at. Like I said, my situation is a little different because I'm a little older, but I understand where she's at. Again, take the ball and run with it, boo. Just gotta find a boo to run with it. I'm just saying.
Like if there was timely with it, sure. But like some people that I've encountered, I mean, they do stuff a little slow. I'm like, gotta get the going. We gotta get the moving. We gotta get this done. They just
Okay, so let me ask you this. So do you feel that way based off of past experiences? Like I know you brought up the whole point of with your father and that whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like do you think that has played into how you interact with men now?
Yes, and that is a semi-recent reflection. Very true. Very true. That does have a lot to do with how I interact with men.
Okay, yeah. The reason I ask is because I see, and I know a lot of single women, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very independent, and a lot of them have been put in situations where they have to be independent.
Exactly.
But when it comes time to interact with the man, and the man comes with that masculine energy, they don't know how to turn that off.
True, and in my experience, I feel like you can't dictate the specific level of masculinity. It's either he's just gonna come what it is, and you're gonna deal with it or not. But yeah, a traditionally masculine man, it's a struggle point for me. I will definitely admit that. It is a struggle point.
And I can appreciate that.
No man wants to compete with their woman.
Go ahead, Peter. What'd you say?
What'd you say?
No man wants to compete with their woman.
Well, my mindset is I'm not competing with him. I'm already in my own box. I'm not trying to compete with him. I can
but to be fair,
a man for who he is, for sure.
But to be fair, as a woman, even what I hear and I think we have to be careful because what I hear is I don't need you. There's no value that you can bring to my situation. If I grew up around all men, okay, all brothers. I'm the only chick. It was always men around me. And if from the conversations that I've had, if a man feels like there's no value that he can bring to your situation, it's going to turn him off. And if you can say there's a little bit of ego there, sure. There's a little bit of pride there, sure. But there needs to be some pride there. There needs to be some ego there. As long as it's not too much, there does need to be, that needs to exist for a man. He does need to be proud and he does need to be masculine. I think we got too much, too many effeminate men around here anyway. So a man does need to have that masculinity. And we as women need to understand that we're actually more powerful when we're able to yield to that masculinity. We're more powerful and more beautiful when we're able to assume the position of being, his back, covering, having his six. Like it's not that you're less. You're most certainly not less. You are not less in the scenario. Your role is vital to him. he needs you. But in order for you to assume your position, you have to allow him to assume his, which means doesn't mean you reduce. It just means you make room for him. You have to make room for him.
Yeah, make
Like
it a
if you're
partnership. It ain't a
putting,
competition.
yeah,
Make it a
yeah, like
partnership.
if you're putting if you're putting out so much independent masculine energy, men are going to pick that up and they're going to go, well, she's great. I mean, I like her. She's nice. She's smart. She got her own stuff. He dudes like that. But then if he feel like it's to the point where I can't bring nothing to the table, like what am I bringing to the table? Like she don't need me. So I'm gonna go find somebody who, I can actually bring some value to them. They're gonna be looking at me like I do something for them. Cause I don't, at this point, I can't do nothing for her. Like we have to be careful not putting out that energy, because it could be a turnoff for some men.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, and I think that pretty much touches on it. I'm gonna put this up real quick because I actually just came across this. So let me see if I can get this up. All right, so I don't know this gentleman personally, but I'm gonna read this. He said, "Men are not intimidated by strong women, but far too many women believe that being aggressive, rude, and generally unpleasant makes them strong. No, it makes you insufferable. It's not that we can't handle you, in quotation, but that we prefer not to in light of better options."
I agree.
Hold on, Peter, you agree? Wait a minute, man.
He agree with everything.
Peter, man, get it off your chest, man. What's going on, man?
Say what you just
Peter, you didn't
Well,
come
it
to
just
play
now.
today.
Can you put it
right.
back up?
He ain't come to play.
Can you put it back up?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna put it back up. All right.
So me, like I'm not intimidated by like a strong woman or whatever. But if let's say I'm making $80,000 a year or whatever,
Oh,
and
here
she's
we go.
making $100,000
Hold
a year or
on,
whatever,
Tommy.
there's a great chance that relationship isn't like it's not going to pull through. There's a great chance that she's going to say, well, I'm making more money than you or whatever. You're not doing something that you should be doing as a man.
Nah, I'm saying let's invest that extra money. That's what I'm saying.
Right. We a team. We about to build
Period.
this
Oh, we got
together.
extra? Okay, we putting it over here.
There are a lot of statistics saying otherwise.
Well,
So
I'm
Peter,
telling you
What's
what
that?
say over here.
hold up,
What's
Peter.
that?
So let's get into this, man. Because I mean, this question applies. The question that I posted earlier to the ladies actually applies to you as well. So what has happened, man? So somebody has done something to you at some point. Now I don't know if it's the type of girls that you're interacting with. I don't know if it's immaturity in the girls that you're interacting with.
Say
I
it's
don't
the
know.
type of women of kind of like today, like pretty much 35 and under for the most part.
Yeah, but it still sounds like a specific demographic type of women that you're messing with. Because I mean, I know girls in their 30s that's not talking like what you're describing. So I'm trying to understand, like, are these
Well, I'd say like in
these
a way,
West
like
Coast girls? Like, what is it?
yeah, I'd say in a way like it's mainly the West Coast girls, or whatever. But in a way, like I kind of look at all my past relationships, and I look at like a whole lot of my other friends' relationships, men and women or whatever, and just like it all seems to follow the same suit.
So let me ask you this.
It's just here in California.
Your audio
He
just
cut
dropped,
out.
man.
Yeah, he cut.
Your audio back?
Just
Okay.
I think so. Is it?
Yeah,
Just here in California, it's magnified.
So let me ask you this, man, because I like to keep it 100. At any point, not a personal attack. At any point, do you think it might be you?
No.
In all those scenarios, the common denominator, out of all the women that you
Yeah.
talk to, is you, right?
Hmm.
You're part of that recipe, right? Every single woman that you've had a relationship is the woman that you
Yeah, I
chose, right?
understand that.
So
No, I
you
completely
don't
see
see
where
where I'm
you're
going
going
with
with
this?
this. And to tell you the truth, I feel like I've been like pretty prepared, and I feel like a great person stuff, and yeah.
Everybody here thinking we all got flaws,
Yeah.
and I think you might want to start looking into your blind
Mhm.
spots and the
Oh
things
no,
that you can't see about
I know
yourself.
I got flaws. I know I got flaws, but like in this new day and age or whatever, I mean, this isn't this ain't the same world that our parents grew up in. This isn't the same world where people like fight for relationships. This isn't the same world where you see people
I wouldn't
that
say
are
that,
married
G.
like 20
That's not
plus
true.
Completely true.
20 plus
That's
That's
years.
not
completely
true at
true.
all. That is not true at
That's
Bro,
all.
completely
bro,
true.
Pete,
And
let me tell you something. The
I
people that
think
are
different
married
things are
right now,
magnified and glamorized that shouldn't be.
the
right,
people that are married right now still fight for their relationship,
every day.
still face the
Not
same
all of them.
temptations that you face. Putting on a wedding ring does not distract for someone wanting to have sex with you, bro. Actually, it attracts them even more, to be real
Hmm.
with you.
Mhm.
Social media, guess what? Married couples through social media, it's the same temptation. I
Mhm.
think it's about the choice of loyalty, bro. You
I
have
get what you're
free will
saying,
and the
but
choice to be
I get
loyal,
what you're
bro.
saying, but at the same time, you're talking from like like a older person's perspective. I'm talking about basically like 32 on down for the most part.
No, but Peter,
It's been a couple like that.
I gotta disagree with you on that, man. I don't even think it has anything to do with age, man. It's got to do with maturity.
Right.
So
And
at the
most
end of
people of
the
today
day,
aren't mature.
no, I understand that,
Not
but
all.
that's
Not
why I brought
necessarily.
it back. Hold on, Los. Hold on a minute. That's why
Wait.
I brought it back to you. Because see, at the end of the day, to Los's
Yeah.
point, you the common denominator, right? So if you keep coming across whack chicks, then we got to look at what you fishing for.
Yeah.
What bait you using for
I
Right.
you in the process?
Right.
I've used all the bait.
No,
Yeah.
and here's the thing, that's why. Hold on, let me take my hat off for this. That
put
bro,
that back on.
I love you, but you are speaking from a perspective of I've done everything. You're speaking from a perspective of a victim, bro. To be 100 with you, I've done everything right. I've tried them all. Obviously not because you ain't found the right one yet.
Right.
Obviously not. And obviously you haven't seen your blind spot because right now what it sounds like is insanity. It sounds like you're doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result in your life. And then you're
And
Sounds
mad at
like
the
it might
result.
be
right.
something that he went through and saw in his life.
Exactly.
I hate to get personal, but you know,
Like what in my life?
family life growing up as a kid, uh,
Oh
maybe something
yeah.
he was exposed to that he ain't gotten over.
Yep.
Like I said, product of our environment.
Nope.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Nope. My
And
my
so,
parents were married.
So
That's not
men,
but that's
That's
not
that.
it.
That's
we're not
good.
That's
Not
saying
not
that
it.
you
That's
that's not
there's a lot
it. I
of them
mean, the
out
thing.
there married that's getting
I want to get a
along,
question,
moving
P.
along, getting along just to move along, and
Have you
that
ever
has an
noticed
effect
something,
on us.
P?
Huh?
Every
You
time
know
you
what's
talk
real
about
and what's not.
relationships,
I can't hear both of you.
sorry.
Yeah,
Every time
go
you
ahead,
talk
Los.
about relationships, Peter, you talk about numbers, bro.
I
That's
talk
the
about
first thing
what?
that you come up. When you talk relationship, the first
Numbers.
thing that you discuss is numbers.
Yep.
The first thing you discuss is property. You don't never discuss the person
Or love.
or chemistry or
Loyalty.
conversation.
Mhm.
So something has happened to make
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
you stop
did.
seeing the person to where you see numbers or you see what they're going to take from you. You have a huge fear, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
When it
It's
comes to
having
the
it's
opposite
that
sex,
wall.
80 80% of marriages or whatever are
There you
of
go with them
divorce.
numbers again.
80% of
what's the first thing that
divorces
you
are
go back to?
initiated by women. So I mean, if you're talking about the whole marriage
but we're
thing,
not talking
I
about
don't
We're
what
really
not
want to
you
be a
talking.
part
went
of that
through
But
though.
I didn't
statistic.
mention marriage one time.
Peter. One thing I've always said is that whatever you put out there and whatever you're gonna end up manifesting it no matter what. So if you're putting negativity out, oh, she's gonna take this from me, I'm gonna get divorced. Guess what's gonna happen? you're going to get divorced. You have to start speaking more as a positive, and you will get that in your life. And I'm just saying that even for myself, I'm a little bit older. I'm single, and I had to check myself on so many things I was doing when I was younger to understand that this is why I'm single. This is why the things you have to do self checks all the time. And granted, like I said, I had a decent childhood. I had both parents most of the time. I went to school. I did everything that was supposedly the right thing to do. But at the same time, you have to check yourself because there's times where you think you're doing everything. I'm doing everything. They did me wrong. They did this wrong. But there's times when you actually done wrong. You have to check yourself on that. And I think that's what you may have to do. I'm just saying.
I agree with that, but for the most part, I feel like I've done a majority of
You're
things
supposed
right.
to, because you're talking about you. It's hard to see. It's hard to see the other side of yourself.
It's
No,
hard.
We can all be on this
I
panel,
get what
right?
you're saying, but for the most part, I feel like I've been a pretty good, genuine person or whatever.
But Pete,
And
you know,
You
No,
feel like
a
it.
little
You
dark,
feel like
bro.
it.
Just a
my God,
little dark.
I love you, and you keep saying the same thing as if it's new information. And I don't want to make it about just Peter because the show is bigger than Peter. This is about why a
Mm-hmm.
woman is single, not the dating show for Peter. But all I'm stating is, bro, is that you're kind of repeating that I'm the good guy. I'm the good guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, over and over again.
And you
And
could
so I
take that
don't
in the
want to.
context of women in general, what he's saying, because a lot of women do that. A lot of women say, I'm a good woman. I did
Thank you.
everything I was supposed to do ever that. I did what I was supposed to do this now ever. But a lot of times you could be the best woman in the world. You just chose the wrong guy. Truth be told.
And here's the thing: you can
okay,
be the best
well,
person,
I'm
right?
glad you touched on that because a lot of women are choosing the worst person in the world or whatever. Because
But
we've
that's their
moved,
journey to
because
find out, though.
with social media, we have moved to a place where Tommy, where he was when he was growing up or whatever, like basically like the tens were with the tens, the nines were with the nines, the eights were with the eights. But now we move so far past that, like where it's so accessible
Ah,
to like everybody that that no one really wants to stop and pause, and no one wants
But
to
we're talking about you. Have you stopped and paused?
right.
yes, I've stopped and paused plenty of times.
Okay.
So
Stop being so
you don't do
defensive and
everything perfect.
just. If you haven't, I mean, it's okay. But
All right, where was I?
I'm just saying.
Like my guy. Every
See,
time there's a
I
point
mean,
made, your counter argument is that you've done it all. Guess what, Peter? Let me tell you. Let me let you in on a secret, bro. Because I love you. Don't nobody want nobody perfect.
yes, I know
Facts.
that.
Facts.
But every time you've spoken, you've done it all. You've done this, you've done that, and majority of the time you're always in the right. You're this, and it's like a self glorification about yourself,
Yep.
bro.
Perfect
sad
Peter.
narc.
Perfect Peter.
And the
Narc.
more you do that, the more you're gonna repel people from you,
Yep.
bro. You're
Turn
gonna
off.
repel. It's a super turn off, my guy, and you don't even see it, but yet you continue.
I
I want
couldn't
you to
hear it.
watch this
Something
thing.
happened.
It's okay. We got this recorded. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna send it to you. I want you to come back and watch yourself, bro. Because here's the thing: in sports, right? No, I'm not trying to be funny, y'all. I'm not trying to be funny. I
I'm
love
sorry.
Peter, and that's my guy. In sports, you know what we do, and Mr. Tommy, you can quote me if I'm wrong. We go back and we watch the game tape. We go back and we watch our film. And the reason
Make
why we go back
adjustments.
to watch our film is because in the game we think we were perfect. But then when we
Yep.
go back to watch the game tape, we see the mistakes that we made and how we
Mm-hmm.
could have made a better play, how we didn't
Mm-hmm.
pay attention to all the little things that we thought we were paying attention to. And so what I'm
Correct.
saying is, my bro, because I love you, you might need to go back and revisit the game tape of your life, bro, and who you were being in these interactions, bro, because there's something that's not clicking for you. And that's why we're still beating this dead horse. And every time you respond, well, 85%, well, 10%, well, the 10s are with the 10s, the 9s are. No, bro, let me tell you something. People have been with people, period. And it don't matter the generation. Because you had
Mm-hmm.
cheaters back in the day. Papa was a Rolling Stone to wet ass pussy right now. People been fucking since generations. That's how we all still here.
Yeah,
People been
but at the
unfaithful
same
since
time,
the
like
beginning
people
of
were
time.
held more accountable.
People were held accountable then.
I said they were
People have
held
been,
more accountable.
bro.
We didn't have like the slut walk back then. We didn't have WAP back then.
Peter, guess
They
what we
had
had
Luke
back
back
then?
then.
You know
They
what?
had Luke
Okay,
back
wait,
then.
hold tight. You know what we had back then? Don't go to the hole in the wall. Stand up in it. They had a whole bunch of different songs about
Candy
fucking back
liquor.
then too. It was just different. We just living in the evolution of it,
Exactly. It's just
And,
different. I mean,
and truth be
people are
told,
different.
you keep going back to social media. Social media is
Yeah,
fake, truth be told. People show only the good, they don't show the bad.
that's
It's
it.
so ridiculous.
That's
bro.
why
Creators of
I'm
social
just
media
saying.
don't even
We
pay
gonna
attention to
go in
social
on
media
you.
because
We gonna go
of
in
what
on
it's
you.
used for.
Why black women singing? Back to that.
Lola,
Yeah,
Yes, back
Yeah,
to
yeah,
black women.
we had that
yeah.
way, man. We had
We
that.
made this the
Okay.
Peter show.
I want to
So
say
Yeah.
that
why are
Well,
black women?
on
Why are
top
black
of,
women
we gonna do?
single?
We gonna
Why
close
are
it
I
out
want
black
to
like
women
this.
say on
single?
top of
Low,
like me
low,
not doing
low.
I
everything.
want to
Peter.
start with all the
I
beautiful ladies,
want to say
so
with
that way
on
y'all
top
can
of
close out the show the right way. We would love for y'all to tell us what, just from your perspective, of how we can do better. The things that that you would like for us, like, hey, I want a man to get back to courting me. I want to get back to dates. I want to get back to conversations. I want to get back to phone calls where we fall asleep. You still sleep? You fall asleep yet? No, I ain't sleep yet. You still?
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
close out the show like that. What are
Fall
things that
asleep
you
on the
guys are
phone.
looking for? So that way, as men, we can understand different boxes we need to check, because things have changed and things have evolved, and we need to get some back to the foundation of things. So what are things that we can do for you ladies?
We're working from the right to the left, so we're gonna start with Nicole.
So definitely a few things that you just said, like courting, going on actual dates would be nice.
What does that look like to you? An actual date? What does that look like?
An actual date for me would be, it could be doing like any random activity. It could be doing like night golf. It could be go kart racing. It
Oh
could be
yeah.
going to the park. It could be like I like kind of like small artistic type areas. So like walking downtown, getting dinner, but actually dressing up. Like you need to dress up like you got some sense. So
Nice. So be presentable. Fellas, that is Nicole. Make sure you find her on Facebook. She likes long dresses.
can't deal with you.
I can't. I cannot.
All right. She's
next. I think
well educated. She has a 750 credit score.
I cannot.
Okay, Nicole, you done?
I would say homework days too, but I mean, I don't date nobody. I haven't dated anybody that's in school right now.
Okay.
That would count though. It would count.
No doubt.
All right.
All right, go ahead, Nina.
Consistency is the main thing I always say, is men being consistent and doing what they're gonna say and say what they mean. And if how you feel about our situation changes, I'm gonna give you the same respect and let you know if this ain't working, and give me the same respect at the same time. Before, those are the main things I'm seeing. And of course, I like a date every so often, and you plan the date. I don't want to plan a date all the time. That's it.
Yeah, no ghosting. You don't do that.
Not even ghosting, just play. I mean, the thing is, you ain't got to do the big time thing, everything. I mean, just do simple stuff and just say, hey, let's get dressed and go.
Reservations, or is it okay to be spontaneous and just go?
Spontaneous is where I like spontaneous, and I like the fact that if you could plan something, it still could be kind of spontaneous too. Okay. It's up to you.
Okay.
Chloe's still on there?
She's still on?
I think I heard. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm still here. No, I think for me, honestly, I think the thing that I would say, I'm married, obviously, so I mean, I'm not talking about what you can do for me on a date, but I think for women, I'm just gonna talk to the ladies, because I think, like, for me, for women, I think that it's important that we understand that, one, it doesn't always have to be about us expressing how independent we are, what we have, how much we don't need a man. Like, I think we got to get out of that mindset that being, showing vulnerability or being able to, accept a man's masculinity doesn't reduce us at all. Like, we're not reduced just simply because we allow a man to come in our lives and be a man. And wanting to always control a situation. Yeah, maybe he doesn't move as fast as you do. Maybe he doesn't do it the same way that you would do it. But at the end of the day, it's about allowing him to play his role so that you can play your role. Ladies, we should not be doing it all ourselves. We were not created. We were not made to do it all ourselves. We shouldn't have to do it all ourselves. Yes, we're strong. We're powerful. We can do it, but we shouldn't have to.
Right.
We shouldn't have to. I think that we can look at the dudes and say all day, black men are this, black men are that, and they can look at us and say black women are this, black women are that. But we just have to remember at the end of the day that we are not each other's enemy. They gave us that idea, they gave us that construct, they gave us that narrative, and we do not have to buy into it.
Thanks. All right, Los, you want to close us, man?
Sure. First and foremost, I want to thank the amazing panel.
For sure.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, queens, for showing up and showing out. We appreciate you guys. We want you guys to come back, share, tell a friend. Mr. Tommy, I want to thank you for your wisdom and your mentorship, being able to come up here and kick it with us and just conversate with us and, drop gems. I appreciate that. Peter, I appreciate you coming on the show, showing your vulnerability, bro. Regardless of whether everybody on the panel agreed with you or disagreed with you, I appreciate you being strong enough to say how you feel, because the truth is, bro, you're not the only one to feel that way. Mm-hmm. I know I was doing jokes. I know I was being funny or whatever else. That's for the show. You know what I'm saying? To keep it exciting, to keep it flowing. But I appreciate you speaking your truth, because there are a million people out there that feel the same way you feel. And the question is, how do we create healing in that process? Because we do need to heal, because the relationships need to be fixed in order for us to have a strong foundation, a stronger culture to be able to move forward. Mr. Price, thank you for, being my co-host. Thank you for controlling all these amazing guests on the panel where we can, because I know sometimes we get excited and we all talk over each other. I appreciate you handling all the technical difficulties. And to the topic, I just want to talk to the fellas since Chloe talked to the ladies. Fellas, I ain't one to talk, bro, because I got flaws. So I won't sit up here and try to act like what I've been through been perfect. I done been through relationship after relationship. I done have my ups and downs. I failed at it, got back up and failed again. So let me just be real, right? Okay. But at the end of the day, the Bible does say, when a man findeth a wife, he findeth a good thing, not vice versa, right? Secondly, if you want someone to follow you, you have to show them yourself approved as a leader.
Facts.
You can't just expect a woman just to do what you say and you have no direction. You have to have a direction, a platform, a plan, coordinates for the navigation system for it to move forward. Now, that doesn't mean that she is someone that you boss around. No. What that means is you have to understand that you're the head, but she is the neck, and she guides us where we're going, because when we're out of pocket, we need someone to keep us in pocket, right? Secondly, bro, we've done a terrible job in certain situations, because I feel, and this is just my feelings, who am I, right? I feel like we've been so lost. It's almost like when we went to war, when America went to war and women had to step up to the plate. I feel like as men, we haven't been doing our jobs correctly or leading correctly. So a woman said, fuck it, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to handle my own business. I'm going to get my education. I'm going to be independent. I'm going to be strong. I'm going to be all these different things, because we weren't there to be the covering that we were supposed to be. Now, if they were covered, or if we were leading how we needed to lead, then you wouldn't have women presenting themselves in that manner or in that fashion. So I feel that this is a reality check for all my brothers, because women can't do it, that we have to check each other. We have to step up to the plate. We have to be better men, first and foremost. We have to be better partners, secondly. We have to be better fathers, because look at the results of us not stepping up and doing what we're supposed to do. We have young adults out here disrespecting exactly what they were birthed from.
And it's our fault. It's our fault because we're not leading the correct way. We're not talking to them the correct way. We're not loving them the correct way. And bottom line, sometimes we're just not there. Period. And as men, we have to be there. Because if we're not going to cover them, of course they're going to cover themselves. And then you wonder why they're mad. You wonder why they're angry. You wonder why we have the results that we have. Well, we play a damn big role part in that too. And we have to start looking in our blind spots to become better as men. I love y'all. I got to be a better example. I just can't sit up here and just talk about it, but I'm working on myself and I'm looking to be a better man myself because I got flaws and I fell short. And the first step is being able to say, yo, I got flaws, bro. I failed. I failed because I said certain things and I didn't follow through on what I said. I didn't show up the way I was supposed to. I didn't cover her the way I needed to. And sometimes, you know what? At the end of the day, if it didn't work, then guess what? Who chose to be with that woman? Who chose to lie down with that woman? When I was out there hunting, well, maybe I was hunting the wrong thing. So I got to look at my own responsibilities of what I chose to be with or what I chose to create a relationship with, what I chose to give my time, what I chose to sit there and love and hug and everything else. I got to look at myself and in a reflection and say, hey, which head was I thinking with? You just got to go back to the drawing board and get back to doing the things the right way. I love y'all, bro. So look at me. Hey, look at my flaws. I'm sorry to all the beautiful women out there, especially my Black queens. I'm sorry that we have failed y'all. I'm sorry we haven't covered y'all the way we have. But I promise you from this day forward, we will continue to do a better job. Shout out to King James, who shout out all the Black women out there, all the beautiful Black queens, and thank them for everything that they've been doing and that you guys continue to do. Thank you for standing up and being on the front lines when we're getting abused by the police. Thank you for being our covering. We need to flip that. We need to cover y'all the same way y'all been doing for us. I apologize. Quace.
Well, yeah, let's say once again, I want to thank everybody for joining the show, coming on the panel. We appreciate you as always. Definitely share this out or get the message out about the show. Look in the mirror of the conversation. Let's say we're on Facebook, of course, YouTube, and Instagram. So definitely get the word out. Like I said, we like to have those hard conversations, you know, about those topics that affect the community directly. And like I said, we always want the perspectives from everybody, you know, females, males, you know, our elders, you know, just all walks of life. So once again, we appreciate everybody coming out.
Every race. This ain't just for Black. This ain't a Black panel. Sure. We want every single race so we all can grow because we're all human beings.
For sure. Let's say that collective approach.
Yes, sir.
No, definitely get the information out there, spread the word for us. Let's say we appreciate the support. And let's say Los, close us out with the quote, man, and we'll wrap it up.
Before we close, I definitely want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Two Sons Juice, all natural, out of Detroit, Black-owned business. It's an amazing juice. Quace, can you bring up that for me, please, so the people know what I'm talking about? Can you let them know about that right there for me, family?
It's cracking on me a little bit.
So
go check out the website. It's the number 2 sonsjuiceco.com. So all natural, cold press juice, no preservatives, no water added, none of that garbage, nothing you can't pronounce, none of that. Definitely go check that out. We're based in Metro Detroit, twosonsjuiceco.com. And our other sponsor, A War on Friendly Grounds, 5-star rated on Amazon. Like I said, this is King Martin's book right here. This is his film on the way. We're already in motion at that. So yeah, definitely go check it out, go support it. And yeah, these are our sponsors, and shout out to the sponsors.
Hey, we want y'all to bring a friend. We want to conversate with everybody. And not only do we just want to have amazing conversations, we want to be able to create think tanks to start putting things in action to create the ripple effect of change. We are only where we are today because of the choices of yesterday. So I'm going to end it with the quote that we always end the show with the quote on. If you died today, would you get an A+ in life's report card? And only you know the answer to that. But if not, and you're blessed to see tomorrow, you better live like it's extra credit because tomorrow's not promised. We're all 6 degrees of separation from loving each other. Every day you wake up is an opportunity to change your future, but it's a closer day to your grave. So what are you waiting for? Be great with every breath you take. We love you guys. Come conversate with us, bring a friend, and make sure you share. Peace. And go Lakers. Lakers 3-1, baby. Lakers won. Yeah, we won tonight.
No, we appreciate everybody. We appreciate everybody. Everybody have an awesome night. And once again, thank you. We appreciate you.